Hello, everybody. Hopefully this is working. YouTube's been being annoying about that every night, but that's Charity Stream Week. Anyways, it is Charity Stream Week. Tonight is night number 4, and I am joined by none other than Ben Jordan, my crazy anarchist uncle. And tonight we're here to answer your burning questions and desires. So, streaming every night this week, raising donations and funds and whatever for 2 local animal shelter organizations near me. There's links down in the description, as you can tell with the lovely banner across the giant top of the screen there. And so far we've raised a couple $100. That's pretty wicked. And some donations with ball throwers and squeaky toys and all that good stuff that dogs and other critters love. There's lots of lovely critters. You could see them on the websites. There's dogs and cats and rabbits and guinea pigs and all sorts of things, and they need all sorts of great things for the holidays, and you can donate something. And if you have a burning question and everybody in the chat won't shut the hell up, you can skip the line by donating something or super chatting. At the end of the week, I'll be donating all the super chats, and then I'm going to pay out the difference with the 40% YouTube takes or whatever the fuck it is. And yeah, hopefully we give animals a good Christmas. That's my thing every year, and I think it's great. And then you can go to Christmas dinner and tell all of your family how much better you are than them. And what more could you ask for? So, Ben, hello. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I suppose I feel like I just kind of realized like how animal charities are probably like the most nonpartisan charity, because like I've always had trouble like anytime I do anything for charity. There's always somebody being like, you should have done it for blah, or
I get plenty of that.
Them.
I get plenty of that every year.
Oh
for
yeah,
this.
sure, yeah. Like you don't care about Palestinians.
Yep.
Dogs. Yeah.
Every year, I'm a terrible person.
I've always had a problem with that, like with the when somebody's doing something good and then somebody nitpicks what they're doing good, nitpicks what somebody else is doing good, because it's like it's very, very easy to just do what you think is good yourself instead of spending that energy nitpicking someone else. Like it just seems like
but see, then you would have to actually do something instead of just complain in the YouTube comments or at my email address. So what fun is that? Anyways,
social capital.
Yeah. Someone I saw it earlier in the chat. They asked this like yesterday on the chat for the stream, and then YouTube promptly removed the comment before the stream started. Sorry, I forget your name. Someone was dying to know, when is our next big audio adventure like the cave video? So what are your thoughts on that? Because I guess in a couple of weeks we're doing a big audio adventure.
Yeah.
Not as dangerous, but
not as dangerous, but and not as focused. I feel like we're still kind of trying to figure out like exactly. But I mean, it has to do with space, but we're not going to space, but yeah, it's like part of it's like radio astronomy, and then also like some other stuff that I don't want to spoil your project.
Yeah, just a bunch of data collection, really.
Yeah.
And the beauty of things you can do with data. I think that's the summary of the trip. What those things will be is still very much to be determined. But yeah, the cave video was a good time, other than like the broken kneecap and the all that. Other than that, all good.
It's funny because like one part of trips that I really like I don't really like them when I'm there, but I love the thing that it leaves in me is really shitty hotels.
Oh yeah,
like
100%.
Like I was just like I've been rewatching Fargo, and like in season 2, it's like every hotel reminds me of like the worst hotel we ever stayed at. And and I mean I'm always just like, God, I hated it so much when I was there, just because the noise or, the AC wasn't working or whatever thing was going wrong with a shitty hotel. But yeah, I mean, it like left, like I almost want to write like an album about every room that I've stayed in. That's
right.
Like, a weird.
Yeah, it's like it does leave a lasting impression of, wow, that was like the biggest shithole I've ever been in. Was kind of a vibe though.
Yeah. But I mean, that's probably like I very, very. I remember the days in great detail. I remember the big gas station across the street from it, the Waffle House. Like for some reason, those things just stay in my memory, and they like, I don't know, maybe just because it's like a bleak place, and I don't know.
I think it's also the areas we stay in. Like, it's not only the like weird danky hotel room, it's also just like this incredibly liminal place you're in, where there's like a Waffle House and a McDonald's, and then miles of nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
Where you're
Well,
just in like this weird glowing neon spot in like the middle of nowhere.
yeah. Remember that Oklahoma area? I think we were coming home from a trip, and we were in Oklahoma, and there was like a gas station. It was run by not Native American Indians, but like Indian Indians, India Indians, and it was like a dance club, and
Oh
then there was
yeah.
like all those weird effigies outside, like just because people had been hit by trucks or whatever on the side of the road, but like the moon was out and it was foggy, and you just had these like effigies, like
It
yeah,
was
it was.
very
I mean,
Resident Evil. I kind of
yeah, it was
remember that of
insane.
just like, I don't know. It was like if someone put this there to fuck with you, it was
Yeah,
really well done.
yeah.
But it was just incredibly strange. Um, yeah, Dawoot Richard, thank you for the donation again every night. He's crushing it. If you have a burning question, please let us know. Yeah, so I guess I don't know what we're really talking about tonight other than just consider this the State of the Union address for the music side of
For all
everything. I don't know.
music.
Oh, for all of
Like
music.
a very busy works beats thing to say. Like
Did
I'm
he
gonna have
did
a
he did he win his election he hosted for
he was
himself about himself or
he was the only one participating in it, so I assume so.
good luck to Busy.
Yeah,
I hope he wins his election against himself.
yeah.
um yeah,
Tough
maybe we'll run
tough
next year.
opponent this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tough opponent. Crushing it.
yeah.
Yeah, so I guess maybe the leading question on everyone's minds, in the state of the music union, we've got AI everything and plugins that are repackaged fucking GitHub repos. I swear every time I see like a new, GitHub thing for like VST3 MIT license, within about 6 months another company releases something extremely similar
Yeah.
to that and then like, packages it much nicer.
Yep.
AI
Yeah.
music is everywhere. Music production itself seems to be just slapping splice loops together. So I guess the burning question on everyone's minds: are we cooked? What are your thoughts?
No, I don't think we are. I mean, I think it's obvious to see that like there's a grift in the industry to repurpose intellectual property and then resell it. And it's not even that that's actually going to make money. I don't believe that that's actually going to make about a lot of money, like generative AI music. But I think that selling that to investors and venture capital investors and stuff makes a lot of money. So it's like I see that end of it, but on the other end of it, like I don't know a single person who's ever been like, there's not enough music on Spotify.
Yeah.
I've never heard a person say that. So, and then as far as me, like, it's like pulling teeth to get me to release something because I hate jumping through all the hoops and like
Oh
getting
yeah.
other people's opinions of something that's very personal. And so for me, it's like I don't give a shit if there's a music industry or not. Like I'm going to be writing it anyway. And I think fortunately slash unfortunately, fortunately because it makes us feel better about AI, like the streaming environment and all that stuff has already made it so impossible to make a living off of just music that it almost kind of strips that worry away.
Sure.
Like AI can't take nothing from you, it can't take nothing away from you. So like, yeah, it's like, okay, well, I'm already not being paid well and it's not really going to change anything. Yeah, and then finally, I mean, I don't think it's going to improve very much beyond where it is now, just because it's
Yeah.
all kind of limited by the unit model. So
Yeah, we were talking about that a bit on Monday when I was doing a stream with Jason Graves, and someone was asking about like how do you protect your IP and whatever, and I kind of just said like at this point I'm just of the opinion of like I don't fucking care because they're just gonna steal whatever I release anyway, and I think it's a weird spot that I'm with you. Yeah, like I have very little motivation to release anything personally anymore. And then when I do that, because I think I've been talking to you about that a little bit, where I've been getting ready to re-release my back catalog again through a new distribution service, but there's just so much shit in the way of doing that, of like getting the ISRC codes and like relinking all this stuff and like verifying it and whatever. And it's like, this sucks and I'm going to make no money on it. Like, why am I? And I think my only motivations to release music anymore are like video game soundtracks I do, and then like my YouTube channel where like, I score my videos and whatever, and like I'll put those out on Bandcamp every so often. And yeah, it's a very strange state I think we find ourselves in.
Yeah, and I think like I mean, when I say things where it's like I'm not really threatened by it, and when I'm like a copyright abolitionist and all this stuff, and yet I still bitch about AI all the time. Like I think that like the thing in there though is a good example is I recently watched Mobland,
Mm.
and I forgot what network it was on, but garbage app on like the Xbox. Like it just the stream dies out half the time. Like it's just impossible. And I paid for it, but you know, you just can't. And so I pirated an episode just because, you know, I was watching one and I was like, okay, well, it's not working, so I'm just gonna pirate one. Something I had already paid for, right? And I just, you know, put it on the NAS and then stream it from there. And the next day I get pinged by my ISP for piracy. And I had like one, you know, I had 2 strikes or something. And my second strike, I lose my internet connection. And I'm like, okay, I knew that was a thing. And it was
Right,
my fault for not having a VPN on when down, like whatever. But how the hell are you going to enforce something like that when this AI industry exists?
Oh, sure.
That is, you know, repurposing all intellectual property. Like, how can you possibly point a gun at me when this multi-billion-dollar industry is doing it so much worse and actually making money off of it? Yeah, and so I mean, I think it's that constant lack of equilibrium with intellectual, you know, just like it's only enforcing it, it's only punching down.
Sure.
And then when, you know, people with money come in, now all of a sudden we're having these conversations where it's like, should we even have copyright anymore? It's like, well, yeah,
Right.
I've been saying that forever, but you know, I was a criminal.
I was going to say, but
it,
see, your problem
yeah.
here, Ben, is you're not a billionaire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, I mean, I think it's interesting because I mean, I feel like it's one of those things that could in a, if I'm being super optimistic, it could end up good. Like, I mean, it could end up
Sure.
with everybody kind of, because you see a lot of discussions where it's like, well, hold on, I learned about music by listening to music and then I made my own based on that. How is that not copyright infringement if AI is copy? And like, I like I mean, I'm tired of those arguments, but I also kind of like them because they bring up the absurdity of intellectual property of saying,
yeah, like it tugs at a very necessary thread.
Yeah,
of like
I just wrote a melody
and
it's cost $5,000 to replay it. Like that's absurd and stupid. And it was like a Band-Aid, you know, once upon a time that just kind of got out of control. And so, yeah. So, I mean, part of me is hoping that maybe that absurdity gets more prominent now that technology is making it that way. Because, I mean, it already was absurd when, you know, grandmas were being sued for because their grandson was hosting a Kansas album on Napster, you know, and so it's like, but now it's even more so.
Oh, Mike Martin, thank you for the super chat. If you have any burning prompts for Venus and Ben AI chat, let us know.
Yeah.
How's it going, Mike? If everyone here hasn't heard of Mike Martin, he's been doing some really cool demos for Cherry Audio, and I think it did a sound pack for one of their recent releases, if memory serves. You can check that out at Cherry Audio, and you can watch Mike Martin's videos at mikemartin.com.
and now that he's making more video content, terrifying because he's also like the best photographer and colorist I've ever met.
It sucks. Every time I watch a Mike Martin video, I'm like, fuck.
My video after watching one of his, yeah, I mean, literally, not to only talk about Mike, but yeah, I mean, he used to work for Casio. And I think I added him on Instagram, not even paying attention. And then I like one day like saw one of his posts and I was like, geez, I thought it was like some crazy stock image at first. Like I was just like, oh, this is like some crazy HDR experiment or something. And then I looked at his profile and it's like, oh, this is literally quite possibly in terms of like photography, like getting all the coloring right, getting the focus right, making everything sharp, like framing everything up properly. Like, I don't know if I know of a better photographer in that regard of just like taking a really great picture with like the composition and color. But yeah, anyway, so yeah,
because it's funny because like I'll get like a video going and like do all my and like I'm pretty deep in color grading and video bullshit and what, like, you know. And I'll sit there and like, you know, watch parts back or drone shots I do. And I'm like, yeah, that's good. And then every once in a while, Mike pops up in my feed. And I'm like, I know nothing about lighting. Never mind.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I like it, though. I mean, it's like.
It's a good challenge. It keeps you humble.
Yeah. It may, like, every time you look at his profile, you spend like $1,000 on camera gear.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes, because every once in a while, he puts it in the description or something, I think, where it's like some lens. And I'm like, hopping
Yeah.
onto B&H Photo, like about to drop like $8,000 on a 4,000 millimeter lens or something stupid. Gemma, how's it going? What's the next filming tour route, and will Flock ever know you've been there?
Yeah.
um, I don't know if Flock is going to be where we're going. I hope not.
Yeah, no, I mean they're in California
Yeah,
everywhere.
well, yeah.
I can literally look at the cameras right now. Like, yes, I can actually access Flock cameras without a username and password.
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
Yeah, we're trying to get them. We're trying to get them to patch things up before myself and another media company reports on it, just because it actually is nefarious as hell. You could like look at children on playgrounds and stuff. It's like, okay, like I love breaking a story and being like F you company, but this is like, okay, this is actually really bad to have.
It's not, yeah, it's
publicly
not
available. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean we're going to like what I think we're sort of meeting with more people in Vegas.
Yeah, kind of just a haul to Vegas first.
Yeah, and then NAM and Buchla event in LA. And then I'm going to be recording infrasound of some oil, high natural gas oil pipelines. And then we might go to that astronomy center. There's a place in Texas, in West Texas,
that yeah, I hope we do that. That seems really cool.
Yeah. They have hundreds of telescopes. People send them their high-end rigs because it's like a super dark sky, right? And the weather is usually clear, and they just sort of manage it for you. Like if you want to put a new filter on, they'll go out and do it. And yeah, I'm sure it costs a reasonable amount of money to have it done. But anyway, one of our friends has like a relationship with the company, and I was like, I feel like seeing a million telescopes in a field unattended near Marfa, Texas, or wherever it is.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be a pretty fun time.
I just want to get a good picture of it, because like this, from what I've seen on their website, it is literally like a field of just telescopes. I'm like, that is an incredibly liminal photo.
Yeah,
I think.
it's pretty weird. And then as far as Flock tracking us, that's a real thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it would be, there's a company that's like, I mean, allegedly has been sending private investigators to watch my every move, like literally when I'm just walking from my studio to my house on the compound here, like crazy things like that. Yeah, so I mean the idea that they've been tracking or put me on a hot list and get being able to see where I'm at is a pretty obvious one. I would assume that's happening. I actually filed FOIA requests for all the remaining counties. But like, I live in Flockland where every county is like really, really in bed with the company. So I haven't gotten a response on any of them.
I've seen them popping up more and more around me.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah.
It's a good time. Don't spam Koth. Any gear you guys are excited to see in 2026? I don't know. I'm like not super tapped into gear these days. I know of one thing that's coming out that I'm kind of hyped for, but that's not public yet. I don't know. What about you, Ben? I don't really know what's coming out next year.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I feel like this is a year. I mean, even like simple stuff where it's like, oh, the new Samsung phone or whatever is like really underwhelming.
Yeah.
Both due to AI in that industry, like they just pack on AI things and don't improve anything else. But yeah, both due to that and tariffs and all that stuff. I feel like it's just kind of, it's probably going to be an underwhelming.
Yeah,
nobody's taking big risks. So,
that was the guitar I just bought. I told you about that. If anyone saw my last video, maybe not, YouTube kind of pissed all over it, but I bought a Fender Stratocaster, but I really wanted to buy a Solar guitar. Ola England, if anyone watches his channel, it's his brand of guitars, and he makes these beautiful Telecaster style guitars, and there's one that's like this really lovely rustic wood and has like EMG pickups and shit, and I was like, cool, sold. And then it also comes in a 7-string version, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm in. And looked at ordering it, and then saw the tariffs on top of that and was like, nope. So didn't buy that, and that's been my situation with a lot of gear. Is most gear I'm interested in comes from like Europe or elsewhere.
Yeah.
So then importing it here is just so ungodly expensive. I just bought a water phone, and I still don't know what my tariff dues are going to be on that. So I'm kind of over it with gear, because like anything that does come out that I'm like, oh, that's neat, I know that like it's just going to be too expensive to justify getting it. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of geared
Yeah.
out. Like the Soma Terra was pretty much it for me.
I just bought a K guitar from like 1945. It's like one of the post-war
Hmm.
guitars. And that's I think just because I want to like record it on tape and sound like an old-timey guitarist or something. Um, what do you think about the Moog Sub 37?
I want one really bad. I just every time I look at the price of it, I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm not.
It sounds fantastic. I mean, I played it at Jason Graves's place. I played it at Sweetwater, the Sweetwater family compound. I played it at a Guitar Center here in Nashville, and every time I'm like, holy fuck, this is like one of the best sounding like mono synths that just has like a mood to it. Like it's very cinematic-y sounding to me.
Yeah,
So like
right. Okay.
I latch right onto that, like for scoring and stuff, those like big bass pulses and shit like that. It sounds fantastic for, but it's just so expensive now, and it's gotten more and more expensive after the in music thing. So I can't pay like $1,800 for one. I just can't. And I saw them on Reverb a couple years ago for like $1,000. Should have did it, did not.
Yeah, I remember right when that happened. I hadn't really played one yet, and I remember seeing some used and was like, "Oh, well, now that maybe get one that's pre-Akai or pre in music."
I think that's maybe why the used prices of them went up.
Yeah,
Not
probably.
sure, but I think, yeah.
But yeah, and then I think I played one at Perfect Circuit. I played one somewhere. Maybe it was at the Buchla event or something, and I was like, I don't really need this. I was more interested in the Dreadbox thing.
That's the thing, is like for the price, it doesn't do enough. It sounds very, very, very good, but it's just like it just kind of does the sub 37 thing, and like I can't justify that when it's like for a little bit more you can get like a very well equipped poly synth of some kind or whatever. If I ever found one for like $1,000, I'd probably buy it, but beyond that, no.
Yeah.
Dare you to play only your fiddle on the trip? I'm not gonna bring a fiddle with me. I'm gonna bring my poly and synth, and I could sample my fiddle into it. I did sample my fiddle into it. In the business, we call that foreshadowing. You'll find out more in January. What are you bringing on the trip, music wise? What's your road rig?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I would say like I kind of wanted to make music on the Ally X, but I feel like setting that up would take like weeks, to like set up like a custom interface for it. And I think I've still not really played a game on it or anything. I've only used it for like SDR for like I did get it to reproduce radio codes for like RF codes for a remote.
So you're loading
not
like
a
a new OS on it, or like a
No,
app or
it runs
something?
Windows. You could run it in like
Okay.
Windows or game mode.
I thought it was like a
But
Linux thing. I don't know.
no, but it's like it's still like a rough. It's not really a usable version of Windows due to the screen size. But yeah, so you kind of have to mock up some interfaces. What is the? Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to bring with. Maybe I should finally. Oh, well, I mean, one thing I'm going to bring with is for the infrasound research. So I'll probably have a gigantic ass subwoofer.
Hell yeah.
You can't really play that.
I was gonna say we're
Yeah.
only gonna play music through the subwoofer, and that's all we get to listen to is the sub.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, maybe a guitar whaley or something.
Yeah. Well, what's your little Requinto guitar? Right? Is that what
Rocco?
No, the one from Tijuana.
Oh yeah.
That thing.
Yeah, that thing's nice. There's the Vuela, and then there's that like small classical guitar. It's like yeah, which I've never seen, and it's not like a 3/4 size. It's like just
it's an
made
odd.
to be,
I don't
and
know
it
if
plays
it's,
in E and everything. It's kind of bizarre.
I don't know if that's like a local iteration on like a tenor guitar or what, because it's I don't know
Maybe
what
I'll bring.
I don't know
maybe I'll
what
bring a
scale
flute.
length it is. Yeah.
Yeah. just play Renaissance music the entire time.
Did your loot ever show up, or is it still
My
in
loot
transit?
did show up. Yeah,
Okay. Did it survive?
I
Fall.
mean, it's it not only did it come from Europe, but it wants to be a tree still as well. So I tune it
Mm.
like every day to it's gonna have to break it in.
You
Um,
have to squeeze the wood to get all the juices out still.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But that'll happen when you say the A word online.
Yeah.
What's the A word?
The A word.
Oh, astronomy. I don't know.
I don't know.
Data
Jenny,
Broth had a question. Oh yeah,
yeah,
sorry. You go ahead and do
Jenny
this.
had one. Are they just in a field? What do they do when bad weather is going to happen? Run out and cover the telescopes with tarps. Yeah, so my understanding of it is Ben probably knows a little more about this than me, but it's like if you're into astronomy and like astrophotography, you can't take pictures everywhere just because of like weather and atmospheric conditions and like the point you are on the Earth and things like that. So people who are super into this stuff will mail their smart telescope rigs and whatever to these places who will then set it up and put it together, and I think you can remote into them or something to like set up what
Yeah,
you want it to do, right? And then the people on that property will like make sure the lenses are clear, and I assume there's like a roof that can retract or something if there's
yeah.
like bad weather.
I do believe it's a retractable roof.
It's
Yeah, I mean,
really
I
cool
guess
stuff.
like people in the southern hemisphere, they have to like travel to the northern hemisphere to get because we have different views, obviously. Um, and yeah, in different seasons, like different things are in different places in different seasons. So I could see like some Europeans
Mm-hmm.
wanting to ship it there, in the winter or
Because
whatever.
you can do it around the world, as far as I understand.
Yeah,
Like there's lots of different
yeah.
remote telescope hosting places.
I'm still not sure. Like the one thing though that's kind of funny is like I'm not if I'm not setting it up myself, and if it's in a remote place 1,000 miles away from me, it's a little bit too close to just going to NASA's website
Yeah,
and using their telescopes, or it's a little too close to just like there's some like astronomy photography websites that are
yeah,
really good. But I mean, and people put every single detail, like where they were, what time, how long the exposures were, how many exposures, every single piece of gear they were using. And yeah, and I mean, it's like it's kind of like browsing that. Like you could just find someone else taking a picture of the same object. But now that now that I'm getting into spectroscopy, I can never say that word. Now that I'm taking waves out of the air to see what wavelengths they are in color, I feel like okay, well now I could actually like zoom in and take a spectrometer reading of a specific star, and then you could see how old it is, or what possibly what kind of gases are in it. So that's pretty cool, and that's something that you can't really just find on the internet easily.
yeah. It's cool stuff. I'm excited. I have a smart telescope on the way that our friend hooked me up with. So I get into the astrophotography.
Which
It'll
one
be
did you get?
the Dwarf Mini, their newest one that has the
Yeah,
it does all the whatever. I use it from an app on my phone. I know that much. So it's apparently
yeah.
very idiot proof, and I'm very excited. Adam Johan Berggren, I hope I said that right. Thank you. If you have any burning questions, please let us know. Mike Martin wants to know, what used gear do you covet besides the Sub 37? Do you have any used gear you're always like back and forth on?
Um, I mean, like, yeah. Lately, like
Like
older
what is your
guitars.
thing of like, if it was this price, I would buy it?
Oh yeah. Whew, that's a tough one. Maybe like an electric piano, like a proper
Hmm.
old vintage electric piano. But like the montage like the physical modeling is so good on it that it would almost just be more of a novelty to get one. Um, a Kima system. I
Hmm.
kind of want a Kima system, but it's just like too pricey for me to dip my toes in to something like that. On a whim that it might be cool.
Yeah.
And I've not seen enough. I guess like Buchla would be that. Like
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I'd love to have a Buchla set up, and because I mean that really is some like experimental, like that is having fun and experimenting with audio and making new sounds. But Yeah, I don't have the six figures
I was gonna
to
say the problem is
spend.
you enjoy having multiple kidneys. Fucking
Right. Yeah, and I mean
like
that's the thing
why?
is like it's like one of those things where it's like I guess I could have a buco, like a not a huge one, but I'm sure I could have a buco rig and make it work. But at that point, it's like I would just rather give money to charity. Like it sounds like a simp thing to say, but like at some point you feel like an asshole when you spend too much money on something. Like it's
Oh
why I've
yeah,
never had a
it's
luxury vehicle, right? It's just like, yeah, I mean, I could just have a normal vehicle with the same features and then give the rest of the money to charity. And then I'll feel cool and important.
yeah, buccal stuff is neat, but goddamn expensive. I don't know. For me, I think sub 37 for sure. The Overstayer modular channel, I'm always watching Reverb for one. I want one bad, but they're expensive and seem to be hard to come by. But I think it's because they're so good that nobody sells them. And when they do sell them, they're selling them at basically full price. Uh, I don't know. Yeah, like I think that's kind of it. Every once in a while, I kick around for the Hydrasynth Explorer. I can't convince myself to just do it. And like that one's not even that expensive in like the grand scheme of gear. It just seems like it would be a fun thing, but it's just like I don't need another tiny keyboard thing floating around. I just have a feeling I
Yeah.
would enjoy it.
Data Broth.
Yes.
We missed one from Data Broth. The best preset maker in the world. What's one thing you'd love to see in synth software that you feel is totally missing? Um, that's yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good question. Um, honestly, and not to like, not to plug my own thing, but yeah, I feel like that was a big push with the Lunacy taps and portals was like I've
Mm.
never seen a true analog emulation of a loopback. Like I've never seen it actually trying to degrade like that. But it also made me wonder like if we're willing to use a little bit more CPU power, maybe like running aliasing cycles through a system like that could actually result in the audio rate modulation sounding a bit better and stuff like that. But then again, I mean, that's so nerdy. Like, would I ever actually use that? On the other side, I really like things that mutate. Like it's kind of funny. Like if you go on Mid Journey or something and type in an image, it gives you like, well, I think it gives you what, four images, and you choose the one you like the most, and then you could like modify that one and have it regenerate based on that one, which is nothing new. That there's like older programs that I remember like fractal programs would do that where it would give you like slight mutations on.
Yeah, I remember fucking around with I still have it on my computer. What's that Fractal Explorer 3D thingy? Mandelbulb.
Yeah, yeah, I think Chaotica did that. Like it gave
Yeah,
you
yeah.
it would like give you like 16 different mutations, and you'd see one that was like, ooh, I kind of like that one, and then you do that, and then it would give you 16 more mutations. And that's sort of what we did with the Montage M, where like if there's a very deep FM engine and you could load a bunch of presets and it'll
Is that
basically give you,
the
yeah,
color
you could
grid
like
thing?
slide your finger
Yeah.
across the mutations and then you could learn from it and then slide your finger on it again. And I feel like not one person in the world understands the power of that other than people who worked on it. It's like just because it's like so odd. But yeah, I mean, the idea is it's like, okay, well, how do you program an FM patch? And make it fun. Well, you just completely do something like that. Like you just have to generate examples and then get a yes or no from somebody by selecting what they like in that field and then
Yeah.
mutating it further until you reach what you like, which, yeah, I feel like that in software would be awesome.
I'm trying to think. My big one, and I've been pitching this idea to a few companies, but nobody's really bit on it yet. I have an idea for a synth I would like to see that kind of in the vein of like the Soma stuff where the voices, because the Soma Lyra 8 does it, and then my Landscape Noon, if you remember that one, Ben, the thing I bought at KnobCon a couple years ago, where the voices intermodulate in different ways. So like the sum of the voices will change the total output, and when you do this and this voice together, they like RM each other a little bit or something like that. So I've had an idea for like a polyphonic synth plugin that does those types of things. I just have like some different ideas of how it could be configured. I won't say too much publicly because some fucker will code it with Claude, but I think that would be cool. Like, I like things like that, yeah, kind of like you said, are just more non-linear and just give me something different. And then, I don't know, probably because I've just fallen down this fucking rabbit hole for this video I'm going to be doing with Ben and stuff. Just, I love the idea of like spectral audio editing from images and data, and there's not a lot of ways to do that, I've learned. Like, there's a couple very esoteric things that do it, but it's not like something that widely exists. And I think the only like big one, I mean, obviously Harmor, which I've been diving way too deep into, but like Isotope Iris does it, but it's so fucking insanely heavy on the CPU that it's just like not useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Effects wise, I don't know. I have lots of weird ideas for effects, but I'm with you. I feel like most ideas after a certain point become that where it's like, well, this is so highly specific that who's going to give a shit about this, and would I even care if I actually had it in front of me?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it's
And
like,
then like
I
so
love
many
this
of my-
idea, I don't want to do it, and if I had it, I don't know that it would actually matter.
so many of my ideas like start in something like audio, and then you start being like, oh, the use case for this actually applies outside of audio, like acoustic levitation. Like when I was playing with that, it was like, oh, this could deliver drugs, or I mean, lately I've just been doing a lot of like in the last year I've been doing a lot of stuff with light, just with light waves, and then also like UV and infrared and stuff like that. And yeah, and it's like, okay, so like basically like I've been really looking into building a light microphone, essentially like a microphone that would translate. Well, I mean, it picks up the resonance of objects using light. And I do have a prototype that works where you could like literally point it to a tuning fork and it'll play the resonance of that tuning
Oh yeah,
fork.
you sent that the other day. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, which is like crazy, but then it's like immediate. So that's like awesome. Like I could play the guitar through that, or for example, if I like play the strings on an acoustic guitar, I could just wave it back and forth, and you could hear each string like arpeggiate. Like it's pretty crazy. But then you're like, oh, this is so useful for other things. Like this is so incredibly useful for things that are way more important than like a cool guitar effect.
And that's why most inventions get sucked up by the U.S. military.
Yeah. Yeah. And then now that I'm like, yeah, now it's also with like near infrared or I'm sorry, with UV and UVB and stuff. I've been like, yeah, it's like, okay, this is a really cool way to transmit audio and you could get some really crazy sounds from it. But also, what if I was able to cure my psoriasis without paying $60,000 for the treatment? Now I could build these devices. So yeah, you always sort of get led to like more useful things because you're a servant to the system.
Demented Penguin wants to know, are there any emergent software or hardware integration technologies that you are excited for in 2026? I feel like 2025 was the year for MPE. I'm excited to see what comes next. Has it been the year for MPE? I still don't feel like I know anyone besides like me and you and maybe 5 other people that have ever been like, oh yeah, MPE is fucking cool. Like in my music sphere of people, I would say probably 90% or more do not have an MPE controller of any kind.
Yeah, and I mean it's still
maybe it's more widely adopted. I don't know. I haven't personally seen that,
honestly,
but I don't
like,
know.
The Osmos not ending up in like half of every music producer's
Right.
studio is a great example of like how, because I mean that is truly a new instrument. Like it is a revolutionary way to input MIDI into or input music data from your hands, from your that you feel or whatever. But you do have to learn a little bit.
Yeah, that's been my main MIDI controller all year. It's right under my desk here.
Yeah.
Like it's
yeah
totally different.
That learning curve is enough to like throw people off, and they're just
it took me.
I'm good with.
Like a solid
I'm good with
month.
Complaining about not having MPE again.
Yeah. Like it was a solid month of going because I have the Casio CT or S7000V, whatever, just the big weighted one that's like beautiful, plays great, cool sounds and all that. And going from like weighted keyboard to the Osmos was like a solid month of just okay, so all muscle memory's out the door.
Yeah.
And like you've just got to totally go into this like you're learning something brand new. and it's
Yeah, and then
great.
you go back like
But
still when I play my normal key bed, I'm always like vibrating the
yeah, well,
keys
yeah,
and like
because then
trying
I
to
get back
read and
onto like
stuff.
my synths and stuff, like the Polybrute or
Yep.
whatever, and I'm just like trying to press or wiggle, and I'm like, oh right, that doesn't do that. Well, that's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but it does make me wonder, like, if I didn't play the guitar, if I only played piano, that it probably would be a lot more difficult because I'm still used to
Hmm,
like, exercising vibrato with my right hand,
sure.
which also translates well into the piano, so it works very well with the. I guess that is an interesting thing because most people exercise vibrato with their left hand, and you don't usually vibrate your bass notes when you're playing, piano.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So yeah, maybe that's why I like the Asa. I never actually thought about that. It's like, oh yeah, I play backwards.
I mean, I guess that's
So
kind of what I talked about in my video was like I came from a background of guitar, so like this is a very natural thing to me for like every instrument I've ever played in my life.
yeah,
So to have this is cool. But yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. It's just like, oh yeah, that's just like a thing my brain does, and now it can do it again without it being like an annoyance. Swift Dreamer, I love when you guys talk about your favorite VSTs of the year or cheap gifts for music producers. Do you guys have a top three favorite plugin slash audio trinkets that you've discovered this year? Um, well, you were just in the Perfect Circuit roundup. Your big thing was the Terra. What are your other, or what are your three? I suppose.
yeah. And there's another question asking me if I'm going to put time in with the Somatera. I mean, not if it seems like I have to put time in. If I have to put time into it, then I probably won't. I'll just be like, no, I'll do something I want. But no, I mean, it's enjoyable to play, and that's why I like it. Like I don't give a shit about anything else. Like that's sort of the beauty of it, and that was my first impression when playing with it before I bought one. Like I was just like, oh, I lost. I need to go. I'm busy. I can't stay here at this counter playing with this thing any longer. And then I kind of just wanted one since then.
Yeah, my
Oh
video
man.
on it took like a week of trying to force myself to film because I would just like plug it in and do something, and then like 3 hours go
Yeah.
by, and I'm like, okay, shit, now I don't have time to film today.
Yeah. Yeah, not much. I mean that didn't come out this year, but I'm trying to think like new gear that came out. I mean, Polyend is really it seems like they've with the synth
Yeah, synth is great. I still think the synth is like
and the
kind of
mess.
underrated.
I haven't played enough with the mess. I
Finally
do
got
need
mine.
Yeah, I do
Still
need to play
haven't
more
turned it
with it.
on.
Yeah, it's like it's incredibly powerful though. Like I mean, yeah, like just playing with a little bit, it was like, oh wow, so you could like make an insane guitar patch,
Yeah, I mean it's
especially
like
if you're
it's
syncing up.
infiltrator in a pedal. Like I
Yeah,
was as
yeah,
soon
it
as they
really
showed it
is.
to me, I
Yeah.
was like, cool, sold, I'm in.
Yep.
Sounds
Yeah,
great.
and it's like if you're making glitch anything, it's kind of like, okay, well that solves that problem.
I was gonna
Um,
what I want to try and wire up with the mess is the Ingecko
yeah,
Igecko, whatever the Alesis thing that you have. I wonder
and
like
Nico. Yeah.
Iniko, yeah, like I wonder if this does those sorts of things.
You know that there's a synth coming out just like a Nico.
Ooh.
I'm actually waiting for one. I forgot that I had. God, who makes it? Is it Erica Synths making it maybe? Or maybe it's Soma? I don't know. Maybe somebody in here knows what it is, but it's literally like a newer Anico. And they're doing like a very small batch
Hmm.
and I immediately put it in for pre-orders, and then they were like, no, we'll send you one. And I was like, I'm not making content. And they're like, no, we'll send you one. And I'm like, okay, that's a kind of influencer
I
life I
Do you
like.
still buy stuff like under a different name and address? Because that's what I do. I buy stuff under a
Yeah.
different name and to my PO box so that they don't know that it's me buying it. Because as soon as I buy something, that's exactly where it goes. It's like, no, we'll just give it to you, and I'm like, no, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to do this weird thing where I make music
Yeah.
with it and enjoy it. God forbid.
Yeah. I get that with software a lot where
Yeah.
then they'll say, hey, are you going to feature this on a video? And it's like, no, like I'm a musician. I just wanted to use it, but now I'm going to be mad every time I use it. So, um, yeah, yeah, the Polyon synth is great.
Just haven't got much this year. Um,
I mean,
Cataclysm's been my plugin of the year for sure. That one's somewhat recent. Aberrant
I bought
DSP. It's very, 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 very good. I love that one.
I bought my dad that that new IK multimedia. It's neural net amp sim inside a tiny little dongle that you just plug into your guitar. But I haven't
Oh,
tried it yet because it's not
okay.
Christmas. But I will. That's my dad's gift, so we'll see how good it is. But I mean, I thought that was exciting. I don't personally really need one, but if I like it when I play my dad's, then I'll be like, oh, why am I saying this on a, oh wait, no, this isn't my channel. I was gonna say like my parents sometimes watch my streams. I just spoiled his gift, but
Yeah, whoops.
I fucking hate Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know what other like cool gifts. Cataclysm, I love that plugin. Poly Synth, I agree, very, very good and not like crazy, ridiculous expensive, especially considering what it does. Like it's actually pretty fucking powerful. I bought my dad the Velaton GP5 guitar pedal thing. That blew my mind. Holy shit.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
like
those are
that is
yeah.
way, way, way better than it should be for like $90 or whatever I paid
It,
for it.
yeah, the Chinese pedals are getting pretty amazing. The interface still sucks, but
Yeah, because I'm
um,
looking at buying the GP200 for myself, the one that has the expression pedal in it. Because I have the Tone X, and I think the Tone X is pretty good, but the Velaton is like, holy fuck. And
oh
like
yeah, is that
half
the
the
one
price.
is
I
that the one I have? Yeah, I think
Maybe.
that's the one I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's funny because they have so many amps on there.
That's the thing is like
Yeah, yeah.
it's like, well, what do you want? And then like the effects are actually pretty solid and all the other yeah, like it's neat. I don't know. I haven't really bought anything else that's like recent. That's like it came out this year, so I don't really know. I guess closing the loop on emergent technologies because I guess we never answered that. We just talked about MPE. I don't know of any like cool new technology. Like MIDI 2.0 exists, and I still haven't. Has anyone done anything with that yet? Because
Um,
I just keep seeing stuff that's like we're MIDI 2.0 compatible, but like has
it's
that
like
been used at
it
all?
was like 2019, I
Yeah.
think, is when they made the announcement, or maybe 2020. I don't know,
Do
but I remember
plugins
being
use
like,
it?
oh,
Like I still don't understand
yeah. I mean, it's a
why.
protocol.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly like a big thing that needs to get corrected, and I almost ended up in this business, um, but just I don't have time to manage it. Is modular power.
Hmm.
Like I think that is right now that modular seems to be in a little bit of a lull. There's not as many modules coming out, and like it would be a really perfect time for every company to just set a standard that is better than the Doper standard because the Euro rack.
It's not good.
Yeah, I mean it's literally it's abysmal. It's absolutely terrible. And so I bought some like supplies to try out making different types of power cables that like could just be modular power cables that aren't just bare ribbons like or almost bare ribbons like the ones they're using. And even like the ones I whipped up quickly were so much quieter. Like the signal to noise ratio was like 5 times better. And so I was like, oh, well, I should just like hire somebody to sell them at the Buchla event. Just get a boot just to see, right? To see
Hmm.
like how much interest there is in it. But again, it's one of those things where it's like, there's only 24 hours in a day, and
Yeah, I run
I
into
need to
that a
sleep
lot
for
too. Of
two of
just
them.
I have many ideas and no time or
Yeah, but I
willpower.
mean, the fact that it was that easy to like
Right.
do, it's just, how do you make it? How do you make it where you could like hire people to make the cables or have them made
Then
elsewhere,
I got to
and
start a
then
company and do healthcare
yeah,
plans.
right, yeah, um, yeah. But I think that it's I mean, or even like power over Ethernet was an idea
Sure.
that I had with God,
Yeah,
I
you were
can't
telling me
I
that
know
about that like years ago.
they make God, they make the MRCC. What's the name of the company? I can't even remember their names. Really nice fellows.
Conductive labs.
Yeah, Conductive Labs. Yeah, I've like had that conversation with them. I've had like little brainstorm sessions with them so many times about like, yeah, what if we just used power over Ethernet cables for every rear modular thing? Because it could transmit, you could transmit like 20 gigs per second if you needed to, if you needed to have like a really um, high amount of data being transferred from one to it just kind of pushes things up. And then yeah, you could actually make power over Ethernet depending on what kind of cables you're using. It could actually be incredibly insulated.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I mean, like I generally favor power over Ethernet for SDRs, for like my better SDRs, like the ones that are outside under the antenna.
Just because
Yeah,
of
I
all
mean,
the
it's like I use
interference and
like
stuff.
yeah, I just
Hmm.
use double shielded cable, and it's like far beyond the needs of anything you would need in a studio.
Oh,
'Cause, you know,
Adam asked a
yeah,
question. Sorry, after super
that's
chatting.
okay.
Sorry we missed it, Adam. What field recorder for Arctic expeditions? I picked up a DJI Osmo 5. There's an Osmo 5? What?
I think he means three. He
Oh,
has to.
okay. I was gonna say, what did I miss? Two iterations.
Yeah,
If
it's
it
like
is if
if
it's the Osmo 3, it's a fantastic camera.
yeah, if you got an Osmo 5, you may have gotten a counterfeit.
Yeah.
Um,
A field recorder for Arctic expeditions. I don't know. I feel like Ben and we both have this thing with recent 32-bit float recorders because they all have annoying self noise.
no, the Zoom ones don't.
Oh, did they
Well,
fix
sorry,
that finally?
the Zoom F series does not.
Okay. Yeah.
Their cheaper ones do. But not. I mean, the F series isn't that much. Like the two-channel one, I think it's like 200, 250, and it's built like a brick. It has like two buttons. It does like two things, and one of those things is, record audio, and the other one's like format the SD card or something.
Yeah. You don't want to hit the wrong button on it.
Yeah. Uh, but the F6, that's a great portable recorder. There's some design choices that I would change that are very Zoom like, but other than that, I mean, I feel like the F6 is still. I don't know. I'm trying, like, there's the sound devices ones that cost like $1,500 and up. I do believe the F6 outperforms them on the signal to noise ratio. Like it's among the best there is.
Yeah, I think the F ones are the ones I've been eyeing off and on. I just got to have an excuse to buy a new field recorder.
In fact, if you remember those Sony ones that people pay like $2,000 for, those old Sony ones that
the little silver thing.
Yeah, they're from like the early 2000s. Like Richard Devine swears by it, and But if you go on Reverb, they'll or eBay, they cost so much money, because they have such a low or such a high signal to noise ratio. I keep saying low signal noise. In fact, the F series literally has a better signal to noise ratio.
Well, there you go.
It's just like the people hear Zoom and they're like, no, but I mean, yeah, they're great, and they're made for film. They're kind of made for being.
Yeah, because they have a big one, an 8-channel, I think, that's meant for like film production, as like time code sync and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so the F6 also has time code sync.
Oh, okay. I guess we can speed run a couple. Acoustic, do you still play on the 6-string baritone ukulele? It is an 8-string baritone ukulele, and yes, it sits right over there. I love it to pieces. I'm surprised Ben hasn't bought one. I thought you would have bought one by now. I love that thing.
If I like open my door, like string instruments,
it's just like you've got 6 of them. You just don't know it.
Yeah.
Matt, the Kang, thoughts on the Poly Evolver? You have one, I do not. What are your thoughts on the Poly Evolver, Ben?
I don't have a Poly Evolver. I just have the normal Evolver.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I knew you had that.
Yeah.
I don't. I haven't played with the Evolver ever. I watched Ben's video on it. That's the only reason I even knew it existed.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love the Evolver. I have not turned mine on in a very long time due to me, like, the longer I go between turning it on, the more burnt out that neuronal connection gets, remembering how to make things happen on it. At this point, it's pretty much as low as it got. Like, I don't remember. It is quite a headache to get to use it, but it is a very unique sounding synth. The Poly Evolver sounds awesome. I'm not sure that I would be I mean, I really, really wanted one 10 years ago. Now with these Arturia Poly Brutes and whatnot, I feel like it's maybe not worth the price that people would pay for it. But that makes me
I was gonna say nostalgia colors it to a point of like, I would love that, and then you would get it and be like, the Poly Brute's really fucking good though.
I mean, they go. I see one on Reverb right now for $4,000, so it's like,
holy shit,
it is not worth $4,000.
Okay.
I see one for $9,000.
Why is it like signed in blood? Jesus.
I don't know, but
Hip Priest Guy, thank you. Just to reiterate, it is Charity Stream Week. I'm doing streams every night this week, and tonight I'm with Ben, and we're doing questions, and there's a lot of questions I see. So if you want to skip the line from the rest of the plebs in the chat, you can super chat or make a donation to either of the organizations linked in the description, and you can share that in my Discord if you like. Just redact any personal information first, and you not only skip the line, you give to animals and give them a good Christmas and holiday and whatever, and you get to go to Christmas dinner and tell your family you're better than them. So that's what we're doing.
The best part of that whole thing is that animals don't know what Christmas is.
They don't care.
And
They're just excited they get
like,
a new toy.
They're just like, wow, they must really love me. They just gave me this for no reason.
So yeah, hit Pre-Sky if you have a burning question you would like an answer to. Please let us know. And now I have to scroll all the way back up in the fucking YouTube chat to find where we left off with questions. And Data Broth, yo, haha, thank you. Yes, Data Broth makes fucking wicked presets for every goddamn thing under the sun at this point. If you have not watched Data Broth, you should look at Data Broth's channel and buy Data Broth's presets. Because I think Data Broth has like fucking 9,000 packs for everything now. I have no idea.
Data Broth dog toys for Christmas.
Yeah, Data Broth databrothtoys.com. I don't know. Do you see a burning question? I'm trying to find where I was in the chat, and I'm completely lost now.
I'm looking at the Playtronica Orbita, so I've completely lost track. Do you know what that is? The Playtronica Orbita. I will send you a link.
Okay.
But it's literally been on my wish list for a while, and I just feel like I'm going to be mad if I buy it. Like I'm just gonna be like, this thing sucks. I don't know. Like I don't know why I really want one.
What were we talking about? Polyevolver, that was it. Okay, so we're somewhere around here.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's two questions that are kind of similar, so I guess we could kind of tag team them. Necros wants to know, I'm 17 and in college, been pursuing a career in music for 2 years. I'm not sure about what I want to do in the future because I feel like music is not going to pay off well. Any advice? Thank you. And on top of that, Trumpet Geek 18. That's a hell of a name. Were you a band kid, Trumpet Geek? Because that's high band kid energy. I've heard that you have to be doing music full-time in order to make it in the industry. Do you guys agree with that, or do you think you can still be successful with it being a side hustle? I think both of those questions kind of tug at some similar threads if you want to kick it off.
I mean, it's like you need to define what success means first. Like just saying successful, that kind of leaves a door open a little bit. Like, are you going to be financially accessible? Are you going to be financially successful? Vast majority of people will not. Even more so from when it was already a long shot when my music career started. The real question you need to ask yourself is, do you enjoy playing and making music? Do you honestly enjoy it? Even if you intend not to show it to anybody, or maybe if you're only showing it to your loved ones or something like that, do you enjoy it and does it make you happy? And if that's true, if you can say yes to that, then you're successful. Like there's nothing else you need out of it, because like it is a terrible place to try and make money. Like it is an abusive industry that you have no protections. You have way more protections getting a fast food job. Honestly, it just sucks that way.
1,000%.
And then when you do make money off music, you make money from touring every single night. You make money from licensing music to ads for things that don't make you feel good and things that actually kind of rot out the purity of the thing that did make you feel good. So
and then half the time when you are making money in music, you're making money for other people and you're just getting like a cut of the money that you were making.
Yeah, but there are a lot of musicians who, and I don't say this in any sort of way to look down on them. There are a lot of musicians who just want to be famous. They just want to be seen by a lot of people, be paid attention to. And that is like the most human thing in the world, to want other human beings to pay attention to you. We're supposedly I'm not, but we're supposedly a very social species. That I seemingly have some sort of brain rot that makes me antisocial in real life. But yeah, so there's nothing wrong with wanting people to praise you or people to like you or respect you. Like that's totally fine, and music can accomplish that. I don't know if I have the best advice for that, but in terms of like being happy, Yeah, if music makes you happy, then figure out a way to where you can keep it as not your side hustle. Uber's a side hustle. Um, that's something you don't want to do, that you're doing. You're hustling, right? Hustling is not something you want to do.
Right.
Hustling is like something you do to make ends meet. Music is something that you will do to better yourself and teach yourself discipline, and be happy.
And yeah, I
That's
think it makes your life better. That's the goal of music. Like, are you
It
happier
really
for
does.
having
Yeah.
made it? Which I think I'm gonna make a video about this in the coming weeks. I just haven't decided if I want to film it yet or not. But yeah, kind of pulling at that. I think one of the big things is just like the idea of like, if you're a musician with a day job, you've failed. And I think that is the stupidest fucking take in the industry. Cause like,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has a day job, like whether you're a musician or not. And like the people I know who are full-time musicians in like the very, very classical sense of like all they do is tour and whatever, are so burnout and so broke and not happy. And then like the people I know who do music and make money at it and like, have like a fan base and whatever, often have some kind of other thing they're doing. And I think it's kind of pulling at what Ben said of just, it balances out the scales, because then when you do get to do the music, you're not doing it to be playlisted. You're not doing it to be, you get your catalog bought by licensing. You're just like making shit that you think is interesting that other people find valuable because it's your unique take on what music and stuff should be, which then makes your music more valuable. But the only way to keep it that way is to like make sure that you don't have to compromise on your vision. And if that necessitates like being an accountant during the day, then fucking do that. I think that's the best possible
I've
solution.
noticed this like weird. It's like every time I've tested it in my life, I've been really scared to test it, and but it's worked out. It like this odd theory that if you do whatever you want, as long as you're doing something, as long as you're motivated to be doing something. So I'm not talking about like, rewatching The Office every single week. Like if you're motivated to be creating something or building something or exploring something or researching something, chances are you will make money from it. Like you will be.
I've found that very true in my own life for sure. Of like, if you just don't give a shit,
yeah,
things
I say
happen.
this as a white guy.
Yeah.
So like depending on the cards you were dealt in America, it might be a little bit shittier for people who aren't white guys. So I can't speak to that though, because
But I think it's pretty markedly true though, because like when you do that, I think people appreciate a sense of like confidence in what it is that you're doing. So like, therefore it must be good. And if it's good, therefore it must be valuable in some way.
Yeah, like the last 10 years, but especially the last 5 years, and I think YouTube really kind of helped me with this, is it helped me realize how much in my life I was giving way to hierarchy, to like institutions that would not have me. Like, I wasn't, I couldn't get a loan to go to college. I dropped out of high school. Like all these things that are like huge red flags that make me unable to be trusted with things like scientific research and stuff. And I think just by me saying I'm making a video about this and then doing whatever it is that I want to do, then all of a sudden you have these big institutions circling back and being like, hey, do you actually want to like speak at our university? Or, oh, can we use your research for this? Can we cite you here? Can we hire you for this? And it kind of made me realize like, oh, you know what? This whole thing is bullshit. This whole hierarchy, and it makes sense why it's bullshit. Like, because it makes a ton of money and it keeps powerful people in power.
Yeah.
And people with good ideas who don't have that power, they have to kick their good ideas up to the powerful people. Not to go on to this like crazy anarchist rant, but
I was gonna say it all ends in like, well, it all just kind of sucks. But
I think, but I mean, it really did make me realize like that. Yeah, if you know what if you're researching something, and as long as you're being objective about it, and as long as you're just catching yourself when you're cherry picking and doing stuff like that, or with music, if you're creating something, like eventually other people take note, and then you become the expert at that thing, which is pretty great. And if you want to keep doing what you want to do. but if you look past that and say, I want to do what I want to do, but I also want to own every single Lamborghini that ever came out, then like, yeah, you might have to, be a sociopathic CEO to do that.
But yeah, I think like making a career in music logistically is extraordinarily hard. There are many ways to do it, but I think it does come with an understanding that like it's going to take a lot of different hands and a lot of different pots. And very seldomly is it just like I wake up and make music every day. I don't think that that's a job that exists anymore. And I think, yeah, I agree with all the above, but it does ultimately come down to like, are you going to do it because you have an idea, or are you going to do it because you think your idea should bring you attention, like in an ego sense? And I think that's the hard part about music, especially in like the social media era. And that's mostly what my video is going to dive into, is just this idea of like, and I know Ben, one of my favorite Ben-isms of late is you were talking about something and you said like, most musicians now under the age of like 40 just want attention more than they want to make music. And I've been thinking about that a lot. And I think one of my most like backwards takes right now, and I'm not going to like poke the hornet's nest too hard here, but there's something to be said for that, in that like framing that Ben-ism through who was the Suno guy that was like, most musicians don't like making music. I'm kind of coming around to be like, I don't agree with the way he's taking it, but I almost agree with the idea that too many people get drawn into this for a reason that's not like artistically true.
I mean, well, saying artistically true is kind of is difficult because like you have to then define art, which is,
I think it's just that like you're not coming into it from an angle of like, this is my thing, this is my vibe, this is what I'm doing. So you end up kind of constantly compromising for the sake of like what's going. You're looking at you're looking for what's going to work rather than looking for what it is you want to make. And I think you just get in this weird self knot of like, why am I here to begin with? So I think that's the biggest question you have to confront.
A good metaphor in a little snow globe, like my entire career as a flashbulb, everybody's been like, I got to see like the first glitch plugins come out, and then like more advanced glitch, like beat glitching plugins and software. And the entire time I was either doing it in the sequencer, or I was literally doing it in Cool Edit Pro and cutting everything out and like, using Windows calculator to figure out exactly where things go. Or on a sequencer, like through like eye bleeding time, just doing an entire sequence and then being like, it didn't really hit it, and then having to start over and spend another 2 hours on 4 bars of music just for the drums. And throughout my entire career, people would say, well, how are you making those beats? Those beats are crazy. I've never heard any of that. How are you making that? And there wasn't a plugin that I could recommend. I'd just be like, yeah, that's probably not going to, that thing you're talking about is probably not going to help with that glitch plugin. You're going to have to actually do it this way. And then they're like, oh, yeah, anyway. And then they want to do something else. Like, I think that in a big way, yeah, that there 9 out of 10 people are going to want to take the shortcut. And then like 1 out of 10 of those people are actually going to, just want to explore other people's pathways and like how they're doing things, maybe just as a way to inspire them to find their own paths and do stuff. But what I do worry about, and sort of the context of the Ben-ism that Cameron's referring to, is that like I grew up in a time where the internet didn't exist. Not to get too Rick Beato here, but like I like, you know what I mean? Like the dopamine in my brain was regulated a little bit differently, to where I got excited to sit and play the guitar for 5 hours.
Right.
Literally, when I was a kid, I wanted to run and play the guitar. You can't do that with fucking TikTok. Like, you just can't do that with these other things, or video games, or literally any of the things that like we take for granted. And I don't think that's necessarily a problem, but I do see it as something. It's much harder for somebody to get organically good at an instrument to the point where it feels like it's one of their appendages or body parts, like the guitar feels to me. Then, it's much more difficult for that to happen now. You would need some sort of Zen / autism experience to be able to zone in on something like that, which, again, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's like going to destroy humanity, but I also don't think it's something that should be gate kept. I shouldn't, I don't like it when people are like, these kids today don't understand the legend.
Well, it's the same argument I heard a lot when I was kind of coming up in music, because I suppose for you it was like plugins were becoming a thing and da 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 da. And for me it was always like, oh, EDM isn't real music, and like FL isn't for real music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just, we've always had this exact same argument. Drum machines were going to replace drummers. The phonograph was going to destroy the orchestra.
I just got in an argument with Corey Henry about this, literally, because he posted something publicly saying, like, in the 70s, people said that, like, synthesizers weren't real music. And in the 80s, they said that sampling wasn't, blah, blah, blah. And now they're saying AI isn't. And I'm like, these aren't the same things. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
Like, that's, yeah. Like, I mean.
I just feel like I have a constant low-level migraine every day now in music. So for those of you who are asking about getting a career in music, that's what you have to look forward to.
Yeah. Rick Beato doesn't get harassed enough, in my opinion. I mean,
he's an incredibly nice guy. I will say.
Yeah,
that.
And I mean, he's very good at avoiding getting owned. For like, sure. He's very good at. I mean, I guess enough time has passed. I've offered to fund and find ad revenue for and completely organize a podcast that I wanted to be myself, Rick Beato, and Jamie Lydell, and that was like, yeah, that was my plan about a year ago, and yeah, and I absolutely got no-showed from Rick. Like, he was just like, or he was not interested in it at all. He was interested in it when I mentioned it to him in person, and then of course he like ghosted me on the email. Which, but I feel like he's been very good at any time that somebody has objective criticism. He just kind of avoids it and keeps doing what he's doing. And I think there's some, I don't disrespect that. Like, it's like he's not a senator,
right?
He's not a school teacher. He doesn't have to answer to anybody. Like, let him do what he does, and if you don't like his content, block it.
Yeah, you don't watch him.
Yeah.
So tacos and beer. Thank you for the super chat. I've been inspired by pumping my tracks through Suno. Now I want to release the same songs reimagined through different bands, casting a wider net. My identity would remain the core of each. Thoughts on this strategy?
Sounds interesting. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I do it a few times and then get bored of it and move on to playing.
I just don't know how you release that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know. My thoughts would be like, go for it.
Yeah, they might not be talking about releasing it though. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, like I think like doing it for fun. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all. It sounds like a fun idea, but releasing it and claiming royalty on it, I could see that being, problematic. I could see that pissing people off. As for me, I see it as like a drop of water in the ocean at this point. So it doesn't, it's like, one thing that's really important to me is not to cancel, or even unless it's something that's like a very specific situation. I think everybody needs to chill the fuck out with people using AI art or music somewhere, some way, just because I see a lot of artists being harassed. And I'm not talking about like my own. I accidentally had a piece of AI art in, I think it was my last video, and
no,
there's over 1,000 comments. Like, and I mean, it's from a clip art library that I pay for, so I license.
Oh, of course, yeah. I had that with
fucking
Pexels or something, some website I use sometimes.
Right.
And I was looking at it and I was like, that's, I don't know. And then I was like looking, and then I sure enough, I zoomed really far in on something, and there was like fucked up details, and I was like, no.
Yeah, but I get it. Like, there was my hearing loss video I did. I got it with that one, and I mean, I spent like days, like designing and modeling and texturing and coloring and animating the 3D interior of the ear in Cinema 4D.
I remember you sending like mock-ups and wireframes.
Yeah, and I mean, it was like a huge, gigantic, took too much time to demonstrate that thing. And so when a bunch of people, and again, I'm in a little bit of a different place because I have a large platform, so I'm imagining myself being like an artist who is trying to make their first animation or something, and having a bunch of people yell at me for using AI for it. and calling it AI slop, like
There's a lot
it
of
clearly isn't. But like how it feels like you're doing more damage by doing that, by just scouring the internet looking for AI stuff and then shaming artists who have any sort of associate, even if you're wrong or right. I feel
yeah.
like that's more damaging than using AI. Like, I
There's a
feel like
lot
it's
of
like,
what do you call the people at concerts, like DJs, DJ concerts, but they do the light show and the graphics. VJ, is that what
yeah,
VJing is? I know a couple VJs, just like parasocially through Instagram, and I've seen that a lot too. Where like I've known these people and their accounts for years, and like all their recent posts just keep getting like, "This is AI," and it's like that. That must
yeah.
hurt a lot.
Yeah, it's nuts. And it's like one of those things where it's like, you mean to tell me that like you're such an advocate for artist rights that instead of going to finding out who is investing in Suno and then going through those portfolio companies and boycotting all of them, instead of doing something like that, you're just going to harass artists? Like,
Hmm.
so do you dislike artists? Like, I'm not really sure. I don't know. It just seems like going to McDonald's
I
and
think
yelling
people
at
just
the
need something to
yelling at
fucking
the
do.
person. Yeah,
Maybe like they
yelling
just.
yelling at the person at the counter because
It's like,
McDonald's
well, it's like when you or I get
treats their
like
employees
stupid
poorly.
comments on YouTube, or like we get the weird DMs or emails or whatever, and it's like I don't understand the point in your life you arrive at where you wake up in the morning and you're like, you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna be a piece of shit to some random person on the internet like that.
Yeah,
Okay. There was a good question from someone. I'm sorry, we have like a million questions. Again,
yeah,
charity
yeah. Go
stream
for it.
week. If you want to skip the line of the 8 billion questions we've already missed, you can make a super chat or a donation to either of the two organizations linked in the description. And dogs don't know it's Christmas. That's a fun Ben fact we learned tonight on stream. And you
Yep.
can give a dog a happy day that they don't even care about. They'll just enjoy it. Someone, I forget who, sorry, asked, I think a good question leading up into the holidays here. It was something to the effect of like, what is the cheapest piece of gear you own that's actually very useful? I think that's a good question.
Oh
Like,
man.
speaking like music gear.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab mine. It's over on my shelf here.
Yeah. I mean, well, I mean, I guess like it's not really a piece of music gear, but it is like something like a Raspberry Pi, or any even like some ESP32 boards, stuff like that. I'm like looking around because there's so many things that I feel are criminally criminally underpriced. Man, yeah, I feel like this is one of those things that I have so many answers for, but I don't even know where to start. You get put on the spot, but I'm always
Right.
like telling people, I'm always like, hey, you got to get this. It's amazing and it's so cheap. Um, Honestly, you know what's really cheap? Cameron's gonna hate hearing this from me, but just because I harp on him so much about it. Something that's really cheap and really, really worth it for sound design, just for sampling, is an SDR. Get like a $40 SDR and like just scan the RF waves on like tons of free software you could use for it. I mean, it's like sampling heaven.
Um, I think I have an affinity for like shitty tape machines now. It's kind of become my new thing, like little voicemail recorders and micro cassettes. David Hillowitz and I just did that library memos where we recorded like tons of gear through micro cassettes. It was such a tedious and annoying fucking process, but just very fun to see what comes out the other end because like micro cassettes are just weird. And then yeah, little voicemail recorders and things I love those. But my favorite like cheap piece of gear, I don't know if these are cheap anymore. These were incredibly cheap a while ago. It's the Art. If my
Oh
camera,
yeah,
if my camera will focus. Fucking.
yeah.
How expensive is this piece of shit? Focus. God damn it. There we go. Nope. Okay, it's face tracking. Anyways, it's the Art Tube MP
Yeah.
Studio. When I worked at Guitar Center many years ago, these were like $30. I've had several over the years. This is my latest one, and it died. I've had this for about 7 years, and it finally gave out. I don't know what's wrong with it. Now, it's not because this is a good tube preamp. It's okay. Like, it's not bad, don't get me wrong, but it's like, it's not a, oh my God, best preamp ever. The cool thing about this, it has this OPL button, which is like an optical limiter circuit. I don't know if it's actually a limiter or not, but if you put that button in and just fucking smash the input like all the way up, one of the coolest compressors I've ever heard. And it's got an actual tube in it, so it's this lovely, tube distortion. But whatever this limiter does just crushes things in such an interesting way. And mine finally shit out. I think it's something in the power section that I don't know how to fix. So I'm gonna buy another one of these if they're still cheap. I can't recommend this enough. You can find them used for next to nothing, or you used to. And yeah, it's fucking great. Love it.
Here's one I'll recommend, a Rody While. I don't know how much it costs, but I know it's under $100. Well, under $100 probably. Rody While, RODYWEIL. So this little boring black, there we go. Sorry, you can't see it. This little boring black device. Right now I'm using a microphone that isn't phantom powered. It's a dynamic microphone, not a condenser. There's a lot of microphones.
So that's like
that
a cloud
dynamic.
lifter, but different.
It uses phantom power to create a preamp. Yeah, and so it's a really nice preamp that's powered by phantom power, and so it kind of turns it. If you already have an interface or an input that has phantom power, that way you don't have to put batteries into it, and it sounds. Yeah, and I mean, if I put it into like my other dynamic mics that I use for like recording things, it's brilliant. It does so much for it.
Now that you mention that, and now that I'm paying closer attention to you on screen, I've realized that device has turned you into one of my favorite new wave YouTube formats. White guy with SM7B talks to camera. You are now one of those. I swear that is the new YouTube meta, is like white guy with glasses talks to SM7B about subject.
All right.
There you go. Yeah, you've done it. You're in the new wave of YouTube right now. Every fucking video I see is that, and it kills me inside. Oh, John Makes Beats is here. He grabbed the montage M. I just told Ben about that before we started, John.
Oh.
Hope you're liking it. It's very, very fun. Don't spam Koth has a good question, I think, unless I don't think we've missed any new super chats. Oh God, I made the mistake of scrolling in the YouTube chat. I'm sorry. I'm gonna find it. I'm sorry. I'm working on it.
What was that Pi effects pedal? That's a good. I did a stream.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah, that
it
thing.
was a. Oh God, why can't I remember the name of it? Sorry, if I remember the name of the a Blocus, Blokus. Okay, search Blocus Pi. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, no, sorry, blokas.io. Pi Sound is what I was using for that, and then you could probably find most of the software information up on there as well.
Okay, found it. Don't spam Koth. You guys are so busy doing stuff these days. Do you have time to sit down and enjoy making music? Do you have to consciously make time for that? For me, yes and no. A lot of my day job is writing for games, so I make a lot of music kind of naturally, and then like I make my videos and I write music for those, which that's a very like it's a job and it needs to get done, so it's like it will get done. I don't think I make like a super conscious effort just to have like noodling time, but I do try and do that whenever I can. Of like I don't record what I'm making, or if I do, it's just I'm not going to save this and render it as a file. Like I'll just want to loop a drum pattern real quick and loop that in Reaper and dick around. I think noodling time is just a necessary creative outlet, because when you're doing stuff for music where you're going to like productify that in some way, for a library of music or for a sample pack or for a whatever, it's very easy to get in this like system of like do this, then this, then this. And I think just unstructured noodling time, it's like journaling, but I don't journal. But that's my journaling, is just like I come up here, turn a couple things on and just fuck around. Or like my ukulele is like my number one thing. I'll just go pick up the ukulele, dick around for a while, and that's that. And then that was actually why I got that Casio keyboard. It's a big MIDI controller, which like it's great for MIDI stuff. But my favorite thing about it is that I can turn it on and pick a sound, a piano, a Wurlitzer, a whatever, and just like play stuff, and then shut it off and go, walk the dogs or whatever. So
yeah, I used to play string instruments a lot more. Like I used to do that sort of thing, just sort of like anytime, waiting for the coffee machine to make coffee or whatever, I'd play something. I don't as often now, mostly due to just carpal tunnel. Like I just have really, really bad hand injury, and it literally hurts to play the guitar, not so much the piano. I've more or less quit drums. I'm just like, if I keep doing this, it's just going to keep getting worse until I get surgery. But I I the less I care about releasing music, the more I like writing it. And so
Hmm.
yeah, I write music all the time, but it's funny because like I don't care about showing it to people as much, and so therefore something like the sound of a snare, or the sound, the noise in a recording isn't as important because like I'm making it just because I want to create it, and so therefore I end up doing a lot more and doing the parts that I like, which I truly think that if I ended up releasing it, I don't think people would actually care about that stuff. Like I think that sort
Sure.
of perfectionism makes stuff sound kind of
I've thought
stale
about
and
that every once in a while too. Of like sometimes I do save little like audio doodles
yeah,
and just like releasing it as like just a collections work, like I guess ghosts or whatever, just something like that, where it's like here's just a
yeah.
bunch of shit I made over these couple of years that's on my hard drive. I'm not gonna mix it or master it beyond like the basics. Here you go. I just feel like I don't think there's demand for it, and then it's like I feel like committing it in that way just kind of takes the fun out of it for me. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, I mean it, yeah, right. If when you get too deep into mastering, I mean somebody on Threads, I just got recommended some post where somebody was like it was an argument over EQ plugins. And like I think I said I think I like ratioed everyone because I was just like anybody involved in this conversation hasn't made a song in the last 10 years. Like there's like if you actually care about EQ plugins, you have lost the plot completely. That being said, apparently a huge amount of people who use DAWs don't make music. They just like playing around with DAWs,
Those are my favorite people though. Like I love meeting people who are into modular who don't fucking care and are
oh
just
yeah,
like they just like modular and think it's
there,
fun because they will come
there's
up
the
with some of the most insane like sounds and patches because they have like no interest in making it, musical or whatever. So they'll just
there's a
make something
huge
insane.
crossover from people in radio who like ham radio geeks sort of became modular geeks. There was like a big
Oh,
crossover
that
in the
makes
beginning
sense, I
due to that.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. Do you see any other questions in the chat here you want to have a run at? I'm scrolling way back, but maybe there's more recent ones.
Carpal tunnel is fixable by gently squeezing the wrist with the thumb. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Yeah, no, there's it's not fixable.
You know what I
Uh
have to do because
it's fixable by cutting tendons and releasing the tension. That's
my hand's a little fucked up over time. And what I have to do now that I've noticed like helps my hand a lot is grab my thumb like this and like sit it between my legs and just pull really hard and I'll get this whole pop like up my arm and then my hand feels better for a couple days. Don't know what that's
yeah.
about, but I live in
Yeah.
America so I can't go to a doctor.
Yeah, I don't even complain about the carpal tunnel because it's like I did boxing for years and drumming and
That's
it's
probably
just
not
like
good for your hands.
yeah, I mean I've broken one of my hands, my right hand I broke 7 times, my wrist. So it's
Really?
like yeah. So it's like it would yeah, I mean like every even in amateur fights I would break it just because that's what happens.
Fun fact,
Um
I've never broken a bone
well you
yet.
just wait. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait
Wait
for
for
this next
January,
trip.
buddy.
Yeah.
Wait till we get to Vegas. Toddington, what's a good starter synth? My recommendation still is the Arturia Mini Freak. I think it is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know if the prices have gone up with like tariffs and stuff though, but that thing's nuts. Like you
Yeah.
get bitimbral voices, all the mini or micro freak engines, and it has effects, and it has like the mod matrix and the sequencer thing that has like the kind of pseudo generative stuff in it. I mean, I don't remember what
I
it
feel
was
like
when it came
budget
out.
I feel
Like
like I need a budget to be able to answer that question properly because I feel like I could.
I really really like the or mini freak. I love the micro freak. I actually regret selling my micro freak, and I still don't understand why. Because the mini freak on paper is like, oh yeah, this is everything I wanted the micro freak to be, and then I sold the micro freak and kept the mini freak. And I play the mini freak pretty often, but it's just like, I liked the weirder, shittier version of this.
Oh man, Behringer. I was gonna say like I used to always say Behringer Neutron, even though I hate recommending Behringer anything. But that's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, man, for 250 or whatever it used to cost, now it's
You
500,
got
which
the new
is
one,
it's
right? Then the blue one.
I don't have it now.
Oh, what's the new thing they did? Because I thought that was supposed to be even cooler than
Maybe
that.
Proton, Ulitron.
Yeah, something like that. I know there's a new iteration
Yeah,
of
the
that.
blue thing. Yeah, 429. Yeah, maybe not worth that much. But yeah, I mean, when these things were like at their cheapest, I thought that was like a great start. Um, just because you have a modular that works. You don't need the best sounding oscillator. You don't need the craziest LFOs. Like you're just building synth patches, and that's all you need for the first year. I've been speaking. I'm reading one of your sponsored
Yeah,
Gemma.
from Gemma. Thank you, Gemma.
Yeah, I've been speaking to the Musicians Union in Australia about AI poisoning. What's the company you helped set up? Would they do bulk rates? So yeah, it's I'll send you the URL really fast. I'll put it in there. Um, I've just been like, right now we're doing such like we're just trying to manage the clients that we have, which are like massive ones, and so it's kind of funny because it's like we're uh, updating the website has been difficult, but yeah, it's called Arty Shield, ARTYSH IELD, and artyshield.ai. And yeah, the site hasn't been updated in a minute, but um, that's basically, yeah. I mean, we're setting up an API. The API should be able to handle huge volumes. I sound like Trump. Huge volumes. Everybody says that we handle more volume than any other API. No, but we're trying to be able to scale. Just think like millions of songs, right? That's what we're trying to be able to scale to, and we need redundancy to do that. And so that's kind of been why there's been like quiet on that front for most of the year, and most of that has been my doing, where I've just been like, everybody, shut up and work. Make sure that this actually, because initially it was going to be self-hosted. I was going to host it
Yeah,
on solar panels. And I didn't sign an NDA on this. I was initially going to work with UMG for their catalog, like all of UMG music running through my fucking server here. And they ended up agreeing to that deal with the AI companies, that settlement. And I just had I didn't like that, and so we ended up working with a different company that.
But you built like a really cool e-girl gaming machine with like a white case and the little
it still runs demos. I mean, it still runs fine for that. But then we ended up working with a different company, and then just think of not a distro. I mean, we do work with distros. Think of a DSP, right? Like right now we're onboarding an entire DSP, like aka digital streaming platform. So something like Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, etc. That is one of those in the big list. So yeah, doing that, it's like, okay, well, not only is volume a huge issue, like I don't want my entire property to be a data center, but also security. It's a security nightmare to be like sending all of this stuff over here and out. And so I kind of realized, okay, this solar powered idea is not going to work, because my biggest issue, the one thing I wanted to fix was like, we have we're going to be churning these GPUs to protect music. I would rather not set the world on fire while doing that. So let's do a solar powered setup. But unfortunately, that's something we're going to have to build to. To answer your question, if you email, let me see. I'm seeing if there's contact stuff. Yeah, okay. So if you go to artyshield.ai, there's a get in touch. Just say that I mentioned it on a stream. Say Ben mentioned me on a stream, and to ask about the API.
And make sure to end the email with, "You know who I am. You have 48 hours."
Yeah. No, but yeah, somebody should get in touch with you by the time you'll at least get put on a list about when the API is ready for deployment, to where we're confident that it will work. Another thing we're doing, not to take up too much time with this question, another thing we're doing that's really important to us is creating a proving ground to where you can download music generator models and test it out yourself to say, okay, this is from Arty Shield, that's just a regular song, learn from this, and see the difference. Because we're seeing a bunch of companies popping up right now that claim to be poison pilling your music, and I don't think any of them are. Like, I think it's 100% a shit take. And like, I mean, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of important. Like so.
Well, especially if you're paying money for it, like it should actually. Well, yeah,
and like some of the clients we've been working with have been like mentioning our competitors, and I'm like, we don't have any. Like, Like if we had any, I would have heard about it when I was spending, the year researching how to do. I would have heard about the other, but I would have contacted them and gotten in touch with them. The only other competitor that Poisonify had was Harmony Cloak, and that's what Artie Shield is. It's Harmony Cloak and Poisonify together in a new model.
Hmm. Well, we got a couple more super chats here.
Yeah.
Thank you all. And then it didn't alert me about one of them for some reason, so I'm going to go back to it. Swift Dreamer wants to know, do you guys have any workflow hacks for writing music ideas? Any useful project template tips or anything like that? I don't really do templates. I have a couple templates that are mostly for like super short turnaround gigs of like, this needs done by tomorrow sorts of things. My big thing is just like trying to remove the friction of the process as much as I can, which is, if you've watched like my streams or my videos or whatever, that's why I mix with like PSP and Finastrip and shit like that, where it's just, it only does this. I know exactly what it does. So when I get to this step, I know what to do. Because I think the hardest thing is getting the initial idea out. And then the next hardest step is like turning it into the finished thing. Because there's too many points of tweakiness around that. So like I have my studio configured at any given moment with like, these are the things I'm writing a lot of music with. And, sometimes that changes, as you've seen over the years probably. But I think that's the first thing, is like make the environment conducive to when I get an idea, I can come in here and go boop, 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 and like get the guts of something thrown down. And then from there, like try to find the other points in your process, which mostly comes from iteration, right? Like you just have to make a bunch of music to know where you get stuck or get too like into the weeds. So from there, yeah, it's just like looking at my mixing stuff and mastering stuff and even creative tools, like something like The Mess. I'm sure I'm going to be very, very tickled about this. Like I'll be like, what's the phrase? A puppy with two peckers with this thing. But I know going into this, like I will get nothing done for a while. So I always try and look at things like that of like, if something is exponentially powerful like this, I need to find a way to make it work within my workflow, which for me is just presets, honestly. Like I use a lot of presets. Oh my God, controversial take. But a lot of those presets are mine. Like I make presets for everything all the time so that when I'm in sound design-y, like play around mode, I'll save them. But then when I'm in music-y mode, I know what things make what sounds that I like so that I can just quickly like shit out an idea before I forget it or get bored. What about you?
I don't use presets that often, but I think I just like making something as part of the creative process. Like I think I like having my hands into sculpting the sound. But I do use templates for like an FL Studio anytime I load a session channel. Channel 3 is a side chain that I could dump other channels into. And then channel 11 is my kick. Always, anytime a kick drum goes into channel 11, which dumps into 3, which also mirrors into 2. Channel 10 is overall drum mix. Channel 11 is snare, things like that, where it's like, where just the compression is kind of preset.
Sure.
So I don't have to do the same motions every single time, but that's about it.
I do put Vintage Warmer on my master bus. That's the only thing in like my, when Reaper opens, that's what happens. And for me, it's like, I guess it's kind of like that, where it's like, it just makes things sound right as I do them.
Yeah. Mr. Bill's a huge fan of that too. Like he kind of masters while he's making the music. Like it's almost like mastering takes priority to everything else, which is interesting, and it makes sense why his music, some of the like best mastered music I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. Listening to Bill's mixes is just like, okay, never mind. I quit it.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like I literally get confused where I'm like, I don't understand how we could be peaking that high in the red and it sounds crystal clear. Like it makes no sense, but that's his thing.
Would love to hear your studio furniture. This is from Sinan Vitaliev. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Would love to hear your studio furniture layout advices for a small room, especially when it's impractical to have more than one speaker pair, which leaves you even smaller area to move around. I don't have more than one speaker set up. And I do a lot of music-ing things. I think for me, desk is probably most important. This is where like the action happens. So finding a desk that can like contain all the shit you need super immediately is good.
Drawers.
Yeah, like
Lots of drawers.
organization stuff. Like I have a lot of shelving in here, and those shelves contain like the little fabric cubes so that things don't get too chaotic. But also furniture can be very functional as acoustic treatment. Like you don't need to fill your studio up with like big bass traps that eat up, fucking 20 square feet or whatever. So like if you're gonna do acoustic treatment, look if you can in your room, a couch or something like that. Like that can act as a very effective absorber, and like paintings and stuff can act as diffusers, so you can make a room that's pretty vibey that sounds pretty good. But I guess it's got to be mission statement focused. Like the desk obviously is going to be important, MIDI controllers and guitar pedals and whatnot. But one of the other hacks I've learned, I took this from Jason Graves, is actually just having a tuner right on your desk that just sits somewhere right there. That's because it's like, well, am I in tune, or like, is this, sometimes you buy something or like have a weird object and you're like, what note is this making? That's very, very handy. And also just having a microphone that's always set up, super good idea if you can. Like whether it's on one of those like reach around army thingies, or if it's on, just a stereo stand or whatever, like having a setup like that, if you record live instruments or vocals, I think that's incredibly handy. So I think you build the room around like that more than anything. What about you? Because I've worked in a lot of shitty apartments over the years.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've gotten the cleaner my studio is, the less I'm getting done. That's always been the way it was. Like anytime when I've like anytime I've been like comfortable taking a wide angle lens and showing you a picture of my studio, like I have no mess, nothing to hide, like no sort of like, oh God, I'm so cluttery. Anytime where I've been comfortable with that, it's probably like in a transition period where I just like,
that's something I've
moved
said
into a new studio or something. Like that means it's not being used at
That's
all.
something I've said a lot on the channel, is like, if your studio looks like it's a studio on Instagram, that means you're not making music. Nobody's studio is clean when they're actually making shit.
Like if I could find my phone in under 10 minutes, it's like I'm not getting much done. Yeah. But nah, one thing I always wanted to do. I feel like the most delusional studio setup I ever had was like when I was probably in my mid to late teens. I had a bed I had my studio in a bedroom, and I decided that I really wanted drums more than I wanted a bed. And I was kind of like weighing that out. And then I was like, wait a minute, you put pillows in the kick drum. So then I just slept on the floor with my head in the kick drum for like a year.
Is that how you got woken up in the morning? Did someone come in and just like stomp on the bass pedal?
No, but like if a truck would pass or something, it would rumble the whole.
I'm sure. Actually, that would be fun.
But one thing I always wanted to try and never actually did was get a gigantic beanbag and then just put gear all around it. Like just a little kid.
You're kind of like this Jabba the Hutt creature surrounded by
like just a big beanbag, and you just lay around and crawl around all day. Like I feel like that would be a fun time. I don't know if you want to invest in that, but
invest in a large,
let me know how it goes.
I think it's like you got to build it as practically as possible, because if space is a priority, then like you can't just fill it with shit. You need to fill it with shit that actually gets used. Don't spam Koth. I don't have a specific question, but I love dogs and Christmas. Thank you. So do you have any favorite beer or alcohol at the moment? I've had a super dry year. I've not been drinking much at all anymore. I got back into making palomas at home, just without the alcohol in them, because every time I drink anymore, I wake up feeling death. So I think I'm old. I think I've finally hit old.
I have an old-fashioned literally every day. But that's but I don't drink much. I just have like one, like 2-ounce old-fashioned every day.
I think the only times I've drank this year, it's been like that, where it's like I just have 1 or 2 drinks and then that's it.
Yeah, around 10 p.m. every night, I allow myself an old-fashioned.
Back into palomas, just because they're like super easy to make and they're really good. And then, I mean, you know me, like bourbon, whiskey. I'm pretty straightforward with that. I do like, what is it, Kentucky Brewing Company or Kentucky Ale Company? Let me look them up. There's this one place that makes a Kentucky bourbon barrel ale vanilla.
Yeah, I feel like the bourbon ales, like,
Lexington Brewing and Distilling Company.
yeah, I know what
It's
you're
the
talking about.
Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale, and then they make a vanilla bourbon barrel ale or something like that. That one's phenomenal, and I'll have like one.
What's the ABV on that? Yeah, because like they,
Not
you know,
much.
oh,
Um,
really? Okay, I'm thinking because like some of the bourbon barrel beers I've had literally have like a
let's see
12%
if I can find a
ABV.
picture.
It's just like you get like trashed off one
A
bottle.
couple of them here, yeah. There's like some
Yeah.
local places that make them that are just insane. And or
Yeah,
what was
literally.
that
I
one you
mean,
had? Dragon's Milk or whatever.
Dragon's Milk. Yeah, you like fall asleep before you get to the end of one. It's just
Um,
like,
I can't see a picture with like the label clear enough. I don't know. I know it's not like I can have one or two and be functional. Virtual Riot. Hey, what's up, man? Are you
hey
going to
there.
be at NAM in January? Yes. For 2 days for me.
2 days, 2 or 3 days for me. I have two speaking things, but yeah, it would be great to hang.
We should hang out. We could.
Hit me up on Signal if you want to go to Death Valley.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
You should come with us if you can, because we have many stupid ideas that we're doing. It'd be great
yeah.
to see what you can do with them.
Yeah, I feel like I mean I love being able to see everybody at NAM, but then I'm always like, well, like just in our group chats and stuff, like people are like, yeah, let's meet up at NAM. Like, oh yeah, I'll fly out for NAM to hang out with you guys. And I'm
I
always like, that's the one time when like I'm so
This year
over
I've made it to
stimulated that
where
I'm
I just tell people I will be at this booth, and if you want to meet up, you can find me there. And like I refuse to walk anywhere at NAM this year, because that's what happens is you plan a meeting and it never happens, and then if you do meet someone, you get 5 minutes before you need to run and do the other
yeah, I
five
always feel
hundred
that like I
thousand
always feel like I have like so many connections, but like yeah, like every single person I meet with, I want to spend more time with, but can't, which is always like it's so painful by the end of it.
things. Post NAM ayahuasca party. Hell yeah. Um, let's see.
5 MEO will be not too far from the Toads, the
There we go.
desert toads,
Great. Yeah, let's rip a
the
hole in
Bufo.
reality.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. We're so far buried. I'm so far back in chat. Have you seen any questions come up? Um, I guess we're maybe closing on the end of Ben's time here before he's got to go, but I'm hunting around for other ones here.
Oh, sorry, I see one that I missed earlier. Ben, I was really happy to see that you have a Disclave Air. Do you do anything unique with it? And do you find recording it when it's playing itself thumpy? Um, no, not thumpy. I don't think so. I mean it a little bit, but I don't mind it. I feel like it's part of its character, like it's like if you want a piano that's like really, really has isolated, string sounds, and you probably don't want an upright anyway. I mean, you definitely don't want, one with a 200-pound robot inside of it, with an 81 solenoid robot. But honestly, I like the thumpiness. In fact, I mean, that's like the decent sample library that we
Yeah, yeah,
made and then that we have.
we have a free decent sampler library called Forms Piano. You can find it on my Gumroad page. I think that's linked in the
Yeah.
description, and you
Um,
can play the flashbulb piano
but yeah,
yourself.
the soft mode, it's like a very simple, we plan on making a bigger one at some point, but
We
like a
just need
more,
that free time thing.
yeah. And like a day of no noise anywhere
Mm.
in my living room. But yeah, I mean, in that, so that room's like pretty echoey, and then putting, putting the cloth in front of the hammers, in soft dampening mode. Um, I like the thumps. Like it is actually really intimate sounding.
I
Like
was
it,
surprised. I mean, Ben was surprised with that library too. Like I did a much more detailed iteration of that sample library with like I think 3 round robins and 3 or 4 dynamic layers, and then the final library I ended up just doing some code trickery with, where it is just like the thumpiest ones,
yeah.
and it sounds great.
Another thing about that, yeah, if you like mic that correctly, you like it sounds like it has great reverb on it just from the resonance inside the piano. Like it's one thing I love about those Yamaha upright Disclav Airs is they just like, yeah, you hear the whole board in this wide spectrum, which is
Yeah.
kind of like you don't have to put any post processing on it.
Oh, Ed the sound man, what's up, Ed? Why don't either of you have 1x1 Auralex squares on your walls? I thought y'all were professionals. Yeah, I know.
I didn't get a few grand to put it up there.
Yeah, they didn't
Auralex.
pay me
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. No, my acoustic system here is, yeah, it's off, it's like off center and bad looking, which means that it actually is mathematically proper. Like it was one of those things where it's like I could either straighten these out and be like 5% off with the acoustics with the math that because I
Yeah.
ran a simulation. But no, I actually love the way it sounds in here.
Yeah, I lucked out with this room. I used to have panels on my like angled walls over there, and then I took them down when I thought we were moving, and I never put them back up because like when I took them down and played sound again, like it actually didn't really sound all that different. And I have like super shitty thick like 2000s plush carpeting, and then I have like the big panels and the couch and whatever. I lucked out with this room, and I'm really afraid to move because I like
This,
really
yeah,
enjoy the sound of this room.
this one was funny because like everywhere I've ever lived, I've had the place where the studio could be, and then I had to make it work. And usually I just went for as dead as possible, so it was to make it as accurate and dead. And I was like, okay, well, I really want reverb. Like I want some room. I don't want to work in a dead room all day. And I was like, so the next, if I'm going to do this the right way, I'm going to build the room. I'm going to design it and build it myself. And I did that, and I got the opportunity to do that. And then it was like, okay, well, what do you want? And I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
like I have to. It's
Well, you
yeah,
were starting completely from scratch. Like you had a totally blank slate, so you
right,
could
yeah,
have done 9 million different things, I guess.
yeah. And so I just sort of like ran a bunch of Cosmol simulates. It's a physics simulation program. Ran a bunch of sims there to like figure out the the right combination of things to have the
Mm.
right reverb. And I don't, it was hard to tell how good or bad it sounded. Like I felt like it was good, but I was also so tired of working on it and like, moving my equipment in, and maybe couldn't emotionally handle failure at that moment. Mr. Bill, who will walk into $1 million studio and complain about the bass being
Mm.
too loud or something, came in here and sat down and went, dope, sounds great. I was like,
And then
oh, I win.
then he called you a cunt
Yeah,
and left.
yeah. He's like, oh, sounds great, cunt.
I
The
love
worst
Bill. He's
Australian
great.
accent ever. Yeah, no, but I mean, I was like, oh, okay, well, I made him happy.
Um,
Refurbished barn. I see a comment. It's, yeah, remodeled. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it has like a barn exterior, but it has
yeah.
nothing else barn like anymore. Yeah.
Let's see. Scrolling back around here.
Someone asked me what I thought of Imogen's music. I don't remember what it was. I saw something about Imogen.
Uh, oh,
Anyway, but
the latest explorations of Imogen noise with or without AI. I don't
yeah,
know what Imogen's up
I
to.
I dig it. I love that she's into that. No, I mean she's really like pushing boundaries, which is one of those things I was surprised she didn't do earlier, just because she's one of the more experimentally minded musicians. Like she's really, really into that stuff. So, yeah, I mean she's a close friend of mine, and so it's kind of hard to be impartial. But we did train models on voice swap for some of that stuff. So just so you know, she's not using like Suno. She was using. I mean, yeah, she was training. She was using a base model that had 100% data sourced with consensual data, and then she was fine tuning it with. I mean, she probably gave us like 10 hours of content. It was crazy. I mean, she really does put the work in.
Hmm.
But yeah, to me, it sounds incredible. I love it.
Oh, Bomb Toy. I clicked the stream for the Charango in the thumbnail. Could I hear a chord? Sure. I will go grab it. One moment.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that to us? What kind of a person does that?
All right. What tuning is this in? That's the other question. Pretty sure that's standard, which means this should be a nice chord.
Wow, I really like that.
That's a good.
Yeah, that sounds. I really love the tonality there.
You like that, but check this out. If you play it backwards,
Oh wow, it
different
goes
in the middle.
down.
Different in the middle. Yeah, that's
Yeah, just so you know, we can't hear a thing because the noise reduction is
okay.
removing it all. That's
I'll
why.
play it
Just
louder.
try- It won't matter.
That's the best
It
I
won't
could do.
work. Yeah, it's AI is filtering it out. It's doing an amazing job at only picking up your voice.
Excellent.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's, I don't know.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if you could just like play it and talk and if we could even hear it.
I wonder.
It's kind of absurd.
What's another chord I know? Or no. There we go. So I can just do this and see if there's any noise from this whatsoever, if it's only my voice coming through. Actually, you're hearing me through Google, but they're hearing me direct through my mic. So everyone else is probably hearing it, and you're not, now that I'm thinking about it.
Amazing. So, all right. Well, that sucks. I thought I was being a really funny person.
Yep. So
there's on me.
There's 2 chords, not just 1, but 2, because it's Charity Stream Week, and that's what it's all about. Let's see, any other fabulous questions and stuff? You guys think you're old. I pulled a peck this morning by turning over in bed. God bless. That's so basically what you're saying is it's all downhill for me from here.
I'm just destroyed from my boosters.
Oh, you got them? Yeah, I tried to. I don't think I can get them in Tennessee anymore because freedom.
No, you can now.
Oh,
Go to Walgreens.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll just, I wonder if it'll cost me whatever, like fucking $400 or whatever it
My
cost me
insurance
last time.
covered all of it. My insurance covered like 2 things in one day, and it has not covered anything in the last 5 years. So I was just like, what's going on here? I feel like
maybe I'll go play the insurance game again and see
Who
if
am
I
I,
can get
Elon
boosters.
Musk?
Do you always get sick after NAMM? I've learned NAMM, I try to wear a mask if I can, as much as possible when I'm like floating about on the floor. I've learned like to, do fist bumps or elbows more than shaking hands, hand sanitizer as much as I can. And so far I haven't been sick after a NAMM if I'm pretty conscious about that. It's almost like, masks and stuff work. But yeah, that's served me well. But in years prior where I didn't do that, I would get just some god awful post convention flu of some kind.
No, ever since I started doing urotherapy, I haven't really gotten sick at all. I've been totally fine. Just drinking your piss.
Yeah.
It's so good for you. I didn't last year, but the year, I don't know, like 3 years ago or something, I got a really bad cold at NAMM, and then I went up into the mountains afterwards, like hiking or something like that. And then I went to Death Valley. After that, I went to that area where the rocks move by themselves. So it's like, 300 feet below sea level. So I went from like essentially like 11,000 feet down to 300 below sea level in a 1-day drive. And when I got to Death Valley, it was like my ears were getting plugged up from the up and down, and I couldn't hear anything.
Oh,
like,
I remember
that. Completely deaf. Yeah. And like, I mean, it was actually scary. It was like, am I ever going to hear again? And, after like an hour, it started slowly coming back. But yeah, it's like, got so plugged up, I just like went deaf.
Venus Theory, do you want to come hang with all the electric, violin, and cello players? We have a hangout planned at NAMM. Maybe. Depends on if I'm working at the booth or not. You can find me at the Polyen booth over in the guitar area. You might be near there if you're doing... I've wanted to try an electric violin or an electric cello for a while. I played one at NAMM a year or two ago where it's like... It's a cello, but it's like completely electric, so it's just like the outline of a cello.
Yeah, like the Yamaha ones.
Yeah, it was something like that. It wasn't the Yamaha one. It was
I have a bass. I have the
brand.
Upright. Double bass.
It was that,
like
but a cello,
stick.
and I thought that was really cool because I was like, I'd love to get one of these and plug it into like my guitar pedals and stuff and just see what it sounds like. But I have the real cello over there. It's a cheap piece of shit cello, but I use a contact mic to plug it into pedals all the time, and that's super fun.
Yeah, honestly, I think like with my double bass, I'd play it a lot more if it was a real double bass, just simply because the amplification sound of it, like the feel of it. Like I feel like. Yeah, unfortunately with instruments like that, because I have an electric violin too, and I don't think I've touched it like 2 times in my life, just because, you got to plug it into something so you don't get that casual like play around. But
I think it'd be fun to try one, but
they're good for recording and playing with pedals and stuff.
Yeah, so if there's an electric cello hangout at NAMM, come find me at the Polyen booth beforehand and let me know, and I'll if I'm not obligated to stand there and be pretty, I will at least come by and look because that sounds interesting.
And while I'm doing I think I have a panel on AI ethics and economy. I have a couple economic panels, and then I might do one with ImageLine or something like that, like another Q&A. So just scream at me that you really want me to go hang out with the electric violin people.
Tanky, want to say I love both your channels. You've both been great resources for my beginner synth life, midlife passion, and all the dystopian topics too. Well, glad to be of service. That's what we're here for. Breaking down companies and barriers and the grifters of the internet. Someone asked earlier if we're ever going to have Louis Rossman and I think Blackberry or someone on a stream.
Well, the circling back to anybody who's watched the whole stream will remember the beginning where we talked about the trip. One of the reasons why I'm like, oh yeah, I'll check out that astronomy field. One of the reasons is because I plan on meeting with Louis in Austin, and it's like, oh, that's just west of Austin, so I could like kind of lump it in and make it make sense travel wise. So if you're on that part of the trip, you'll be hanging with Louis Rossman most likely.
Yeah. He seems like a cool dude. I feel like we would get along.
Yeah.
Because we'll all just sit there and be grumpy and pissed off about everything.
It's so funny because like I email back and forth with him. I've had like, I meet with him and I email with him all the time. And every time I log on the internet, people are like, you should check out Louis Rossman. You guys need to get in touch. And it's like, we are. Like, trust me. Like anytime I find out new things about this stuff, I share it to him and vice versa.
Someone had a question for you here. We can speed run the rest of these because I know you got to get running. Ben, before you go, just tell us 2 tracks or albums for people who haven't heard Flashbulb before and are very picky with the selection of music they listen to because they love the avant-garde.
That's difficult. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like, my music could either be really like cheesy to somebody who really likes avant-garde, or it could be like way too far into the direction of crazy for them.
What would you consider your most like avant-garde Flashbulb release?
Well, avant-garde kind of refers to like that sort of 70s movement, right? So then I guess it would be like Reunion or something. But I mean, in terms of like weird, like what's the most untraditional? I mean, it's old, but it seems like Hurley and Selections is probably revered as that, just because it goes in so many directions and there's so much crazy stuff going on. If you're into like really fast, crazy sound design stuff, probably, I don't know, maybe our Simulacra might be a good one for that, just because that's kind of like
the Simulacra does a lot of like weird stuff.
Yeah. So maybe those. I don't know. It seems like everybody loves Undiscovered Colors the first time they hear it.
Yeah, Undiscovered Colors is good. I really like Piety of Ashes. That one's solid. Good work, Ben.
Thanks.
Was that Suno?
Yeah.
Oh, someone asked what mic I'm using. This is the goddammit Rycote 15, H15, K15, something like that. I have the 15 and the 22. They're both very, very, very good. And
I'm apparently using the most popular microphone in the world.
Yeah, well, you got to have the glasses on and then you do
But the reason it sounds good is because I'm putting it through this.
I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this person's name. I'm sorry. Fiar Spikigator Vit. What the fuck kind of made up name is that? That's way too many vowels and consonants at the same time. Ben, have you tried any smart telescopes for astronomy photos? How do they compare to the manual process of traditional astrophotography? If you want to speed run that one.
I've tried the vast majority of them. Sadly, I say sadly because like a year ago I wanted to make an astrophotography video, and then realized that there's a whole trade to it that I have to learn. That it's not quite as easy as I thought it would be. Right now I have the Celestron Origin 1, Make 1. They just came out with the Make 2. I don't think I'm going to be upgrading the camera. I don't really think it's worth it. I haven't had any issues with my current one. I like that. That's my smart telescope of choice. there's a lot of pros and cons between the other ones. If you're just starting out, the C Star stuff, or Cameron, you got the Dwarf, right? I haven't
I
tried
don't
the
have
Dwarf
it yet,
That's
but
newer.
it's in the
Yeah,
mail.
the C Star S50 I've tried. The Verona, or Vaonis.
I remember the Sea Star was the first one you got, right, when I was
The
there.
black one, yeah.
Because that was
And then
really
the
cool. Like I remember you watching you with the tablet. Like you just go out, and you went out in the
Yeah,
driveway, and you were
yeah.
like, "Let's
It's
do that."
super easy.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
great.
And then but there's not like smart telescopes and dumb telescopes, like, because the whole ZWO line is kind of very automated. Like you buy the parts, but they all work together. And then you have like more manual things. ZWO stuff it's failed for me. I have a lot of ZWO gear. I have a full rig that I've never gotten a great deep space exposure from, and it all happened like the most expensive parts of that rig came right when tariffs were at 215% or whatever. And so like it was just
Naturally.
impossible to ship stuff back. Like it was just a huge disaster. But if you are familiar with Sarah Matthews, she's a astrophotography YouTuber.
Great channel too. I've been watching a bunch of her stuff just to try and learn what the fuck any of this is.
She taught me a lot. I mean, I literally hired her and flew her and her husband out to show me what's going on, and then I still need help. But yeah, she's very very adept with the ZWO stuff. So I'm kind of just gonna show her my rig and be like, "What am I doing? Something wrong? Can you think of anything that I'm doing wrong?" Before I completely discount it and move on. But yeah, I don't know. My opinion on it is that if you're going to get into it, start small. Start with like something like a Sea Star or a Dwarf, and then figure out what you want to take images of, because that will drastically affect what you end up upgrading to. It's not, don't just buy a decent, expensive telescope, and then because then you'll have your telescope and your filter and your camera, and then you'll be like, oh, I actually wanted to take a picture of, a planet, but you got something that has a wider field of view for deep space.
Don't spam Koth. You previously recommended Invigorate for mastering. Is the newfangled audio mastering bundle worth picking up as well? Probably. I don't think I've used all of the stuff in the mastering bundle, but like newfangled stuff is fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, no notes.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm like allergic to upgrading, but I do know that usually Dan's software kind of improves.
I think I have all of it somewhere, but I've
efficiency. Like it usually gets faster as it updates.
Mm.
Like he tidies things up. He's one of those developers rather than it getting bulkier, so that's good.
Let's see. Mike, are you using? Already answered that. I know there was a couple. Where did they go? God damn it. Venus, have you ever been to a Rasputina show? I'm allergic to live music. Ben knows this very well. So no. Venus there, perhaps you could cheat and erect a mustache on a stick at the Polyen booth when you want to dash off. Not a bad idea. That may work. A Kuzma Audio wants to know any chance for a collaboration between you two. As in a video or as in music?
Yeah, I mean,
sure, whatever. we're
yeah,
always down.
I haven't collaborated on. I mean, I very rarely collaborate on music, not because I'm like snooty, but just I don't really work. It's such a personal thing that it's usually like I'm either 10% and the other person's 90, or I'm 90 and the other person's 10.
And then it's always like it's either super fast or super slow, and it's hard to like sync up on that. I feel like what would be a fun collaboration between us musically would be like if we got together and just set up like 5 or 6 things, and we just have to go. Like kind of like the Rob Scal and Andrew Wong October Day thing that they do. Like I think that could be interesting, where it's like, all right, we have these things, let's make some music out of it, and just kind of like more of a live improvisation session than anything.
Yeah. Except
that would be easier than like
we don't film
music
it
proper. That's the thing, is like, if we did that, the last thing I would want to do is turn it into fucking content.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And we all know how that turned out for them.
What is the best way for an aspiring music producer with no industry contacts to get some projects? TLDR, I think social media, personally. Post stuff out there and get yourself in front of people. And if you make things that are interesting, people will find you. I think that's held very true for me.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, going to shows, I guess, like going to places where other musicians are in real life will always have, an advantage over competing with an internet full of people who, are opportunists.
Yeah, don't be a grifter. Be someone people want to be around.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Oh, Paul from PWM is here. What's up, Paul? How's it going, man?
Hey, Paul.
All the photos of us smiling. Yeah, I secretly smile in photos sometimes. I think the VOD will be posted. Yes, the whole stream will be rewatchable. I think we're caught up on questions, unless you saw any others you're burning to answer.
Nope.
Cool. I think that's it. 1st of October. Yeah, that's it. Sorry. Yeah, I guess that's it. So, thank you for joining us, everyone. This has been the State of the Union address for the music presidency position of the internet, of producers, whatever it is. So that has been Charity Stream Week night number 4. Thank you all. Someone else super chatted Cathartic Reunion. Thank you. Thanks for doing this. Give doggos a treat and they will enjoy and promptly forget they were received. Yeah, that's how dogs work. If you have any last super burning question, Cathartic, please let us know. Other than that, Charity Stream Week night number 4. I'm doing this one more night, tomorrow night, with the Polly N Mess. And
Ben Shapiro, right?
Yeah, and Ben Shapiro's coming on.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. And you're
gonna debate Destiny.
I'm gonna debate Destiny while playing with the Polly N Mess. So that's it. Charity Stream Week. Donation links in the description. Raising funds and donations to 2 local organizations to give animals Christmas presents. And as we learned through the science of Ben, animals don't give a shit that it's Christmas. They're just happy. So you can make animals happy and be a better person than everyone at Christmas dinner. What more can you ask for? Think that's it. Cathartic, I'll leave the floor open for you here if you have one last burning thing you want to get across. And I guess in the meantime, Ben, thank you again for joining. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Are you considering running for producer president in the next election?
No. It's funny because like I've considered. I've been like, should I run for some form of office in real life? Like, is that something that like
producer president? When the next election will be announced whenever.
That'd be I feel like that one would be a little bit easier than like Senate, but I mean it's like I have no faith in politics right now at all. I'm just really. That would be a waste of money and time.
Not really. Enjoy the stream. All right, cool. Thank you, Cathartic. So I guess good luck in the next election, whatever that may be. And
Ed the Sound Man for producer president.
Yeah, Ed the Sound Man. I agree. We'll endorse Ed the Sound Man.
Yeah.
Just make sure to pay attention to whenever the next election is randomly announced and whoever is randomly announced to be running.
So Busy Works beats when he decides.
Yeah. Again, so keep an eye on that channel to learn when the next election is, but we hereby nominate Ed the Sound Man as what's our party? Are there parties in this election?
No, it's like a school class president.
Okay, cool. Yeah. You get to feed the gopher every Friday, Ed. That'll be hamster. Classrooms don't have gophers. All right, cool. Thank you all. That's it. I will see you tomorrow night with the Polly N Mess. The end. Bye.
Bye.